Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another calf update. And this might feel like one of the more normal calf updates that we've had in a while. I think the last few have ran rather long. I think we were 30 minutes past midnight last time. I don't think we're going to be anywhere near there tonight, which is good. We've only got one OAX announcement to do. Got a few other things to cover. I saw some people were hoping we were going to be opening some mystery sketches. And believe it or not, the DHL packages were due yesterday. No, they were due Friday, but so we scheduled a show for Friday, and then they showed up about 2 hours ago. But we're not going to open them because we have a show dedicated tomorrow night at 9 o'clock to open those mystery sketches. And I think they came in. Apparently, DHL has some kind of a rule about the thickness of packages these days. So G would have sent these in one, but he had to send them in two. So we got two packages to open tomorrow, and I know there's a third one from him coming, and one of his artists shipped the artwork separate to me too. So I'm sorry, Jerry, there's going to be some of your art in here. Several of you definitely have art in here. I think I have art in there too, but I have to wait till tomorrow as well, so I apologize. And then Cafe HQ Sunday, I can tell you, we are set and ready to go. I've cut all the masonite. I'm ready to pack everything up. So we've got a packing party on Sunday, and then on Monday everything gets in the mail. So everybody who were on the next comic art list should have their sketches by the end of next week, or this time next week. So you know how we're going to start things off tonight. We are going to get Mr. Leighton on. I think we've got a fun video for you to watch today. He actually did get out with Joey, and they experienced some fine South Korean cuisine. No fish penises or anything like that yet, but another creature from the sea, at the very least, is something that you're going to get to watch them enjoy here. So let's take a look at where Bob Leighton is today, and then we'll have him on to talk to him about it.
All right, so we're outside the restaurant right now. Here we are, and Joey doing the Vanna for us is going to show you what our dinner was. This is where they live until they go into our stomachs. And they're right out here in the middle of the street, just crabbing away. This particular crab looks kind of like that, and yeah. So you just see, the tank just sits out right out here in the middle of the street. Until they go fishing for them. So that's pretty cool, huh? All right. But they're much nicer in our bellies. Yeah. But here we go. All right, Joey. Here we are, man. It's been a long time since we went for a geek out.
All right.
So tonight we're going to give Bill and Castra a traditional Korean geek out. What do we have here?
This is kind of a delicacy. We've got marinated blue crab, so it's raw.
It's raw. This is crab that is just killed and thrown on a plate.
It's soaked in soy sauce. So
soaked in soy sauce.
And you can see
and we're gonna eat that.
And it's quite delicious.
It's not moving. That's one nice thing anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they're moving in the tank outside. We'll get some
footage of that. Okay, so in a few minutes we're gonna dig in here.
Action,
here I am with bib in hand, and we are going to try some. This is absolutely raw crab. Outside, you'll see, as Joey said, there's a tank, and they just bring them in, chop them up, throw them a little seasoning, put them in soy sauce, and here we go. So, raw crab. Wow, it's just like a toothpaste tube. You push it, and it just all comes out. This is one of the more tastier, geeky things that I've eaten here. I have to say, not bad. Not bad at all. What do you think, Joe?
delicious.
Yep.
With some nice makgeolli, some unrefined
which
rice
he's
wine.
drinking alone.
Yeah, he has a.
I got a non-alcoholic beer brought from home. Okay. All right. So when you get to the body, the actual shell of the crab, inside is the internal organs and the roe, as you see here. And the trick is, according to Joey, and I don't know if he's spoofing me or not, I'm gonna take his word for it because he's my brother.
I've seen people do it.
Okay, well
So I'm pretty
that
sure
helps.
that's the way to do it.
All right, so that helps. What you do is you mix the internal stuff in the roe in with the rice, and then you shove it in your gob. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. See, look, this is the eggs.
There you go.
There we go.
You also.
It's another episode of Drink and Draw, and to tell you about what we're doing tonight, here is Lily and Simone. Take it away, girls.
Yeah, right. We're doing drink and draw. Hi. Wait, I always forget their names. Casper?
It's Castra and Bill.
Casper and Bill.
Yeah, you realize it's only a 15-minute segment, so we have to
Okay.
get you going,
Hi.
okay?
We're at drink and draw. Simone has a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're drawing robots.
No.
And we have to, well, let me get there. Okay. We're drawing either a character who's not a robot as a robot, or a robot character as a human.
Yeah, so either way, but the idea is, you could do a robot version of any particular character. You could do Winnie the Pooh as a robot eating oil instead of honey, whatever it is. What did you suggest?
Sexy AT&T.
There you go. Yeah, I don't think that works. I tried to tell her,
Sexy Millennium Falcon.
no inanimate objects. It has to be characters, all right? So that's what we're doing for tonight.
Yeah.
All right, on with the show. Thank you, ladies.
Bob bending.
Yeah, no problem.
It's always a good idea about
Oh, are you back to working on last week's?
Oh, yeah.
So, Alfred the robot? That's fantastic. Very good. So you're doing Robot John Wick. That's fantastic. What's that? Did you say something?
No.
Okay. Or did you just say? Fantastic.
Thanks. For one, I'm here with Maggie from the Every Mother and Child charity. This is a charity that will be benefiting when we sell the art from Drink and Draw. So here's some samples of some things from our regular Drink and Drawers, but we've also got stuff from people like Bob Leighton and Danny Kim and so on. So say hi, Maggie.
Hello, everyone.
So Maggie, we're benefiting the Every Mother and Child charity for Christmas. Can you tell me something about the charity?
Oh yeah, every mother and child is helping, especially single mothers who live in Korea and raise babies under 24 months. We helping around 28 countries, foreign mothers, and also Korean unwed mothers. And then we support emergency like baby diaper, milk, and then housing support, and then medical support, and then also we support what's called that. Most of them are foreigners, so they really hard to know Korean law and then Korean system. So we also support like that.
So you're supporting a lot of the moms. Some are Korean, but many are also international single mothers with
Yes.
children 2 years and younger.
Yes.
With
So, Bob,
Yes.
tell the people what you're doing.
I am doing a Spider-Man robot. I am doing Spider-Man as a bot. I'm kind of basing him on, actually, because I used to do Magnus Robot Fighter, so I'm kind of basing him on the old robots in Magnus Robot Fighter. I wonder if I should give him a mouth. No, that was a no, Spider-Man doesn't have a mouth. Yeah, crab
There he
tooth.
is.
Oh,
How's it going? That looked delicious.
I think Colgate should make a flavor crab toothpaste. You know.
Probably do in Southeast Asia or something.
Yeah, no, it was actually it really is good. I mean, I was really surprised because I'm a crab fan, you know, personally being a pescatarian, and I thought, well, gee, not cooking crab seems to be a waste because it's so good, you know, cooked crab or steamed crabs, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Jason, how you doing? So yeah, it's like. Surprisingly, it was very, very good. Very pricey though, as I was telling you, you know, in the back, you know, backstage, just for Joey and I, it was Joey and me, it was like 80,000 won, which is about $70
Something
American.
like that.
Do
Yeah,
you carry that much on you, or do you have to pull out the plastic when you're buying down there?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the point of it was. It's literally like a block away, and I live on a whole street with Crab Row, basically, if you pardon the pun.
Did you get to pick your own crab?
And I haven't tried it
I
yet.
guess
So,
you could. Well, you could pick it. It just take longer.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
no, they're not about that. They, you know, it's like
it comes out fast.
Yeah,
because it's all prepared and marinated. So they, when you order it, they just come right back.
slap
out.
it on a plate, so there's no waiting or whatever like that. The Joey told me after I ate the internal organs and the roe that's not roe, that's just crab poop.
Yeah, they put the shells on it.
He didn't tell you that before you ate it, though. What are friends for?
What a guy! What a pal! It's like he wanted to see Bob eat crab shit. Yes.
Mhm.
No,
Hey,
no.
I just saw a note from Alberto in the chat. He said, I think I should help organize a dinner during OAX with Bob at a Korean restaurant.
Why not?
There's
would be
got to be
great.
one nearby.
Yeah.
That'd be something.
Except, if it's in Orlando, I probably speak more Korean than they do now. know?
You probably do. So, so what else is new? You've been busy. You got all your stuff there. You've been getting a few extra commission requests. How have you been staying out of trouble?
Oh yeah, we've been getting a steady flow. Thank you to all the CAF followers here for sending them in. It's been a steady flow. I've been working pretty much all week. I didn't see Joey much last week at all because you know, I was basically here all the time.
Mhm.
But I'm getting him. The Cass has he sent you some samples of what I knocked out this week.
Yes, he did. I was just going to load those up so we can take a look at them.
I had a tragedy though. The one because I use a Hunt 107 mapping point to ink with, and I only had one, and I made it last for like 10 pages, which is usually they're only good for about 2, But I did tender loving care on it, but it finally gave up the ghost and broke yesterday. So I ordered some from Amazon Germany. They get here next week, so I'm going to have to make do till then. Joey's going to see what he can do about finding them for me. But since nobody sits at a drawing board or does pen and ink here, it's really hard to find that kind of stuff because everybody's digital, right?
Mm-hmm. That is very true. So you had a few Hercules requests.
Yeah, that's why this week I've been posting is Olympian Awareness Week because I got a lot of Hercules requests. So I've been posting those. Actually, my friend Rich C2, who's a colorist, this is a black and white commission, and Rich said, "Oh, can I color it?" I said, "Well, sure, if you want to, just for funsies." And he did like a really great job there.
Very nice.
I was happy with him. But Rich colors a lot of my stuff for fun. He's like an amateur colorist, does a really good job. Yeah, that was another one. That I actually this one is up for grabs if somebody wants it at
OAX.
Yeah,
good.
The reason why is that I got two Herc commissions for OAX on the same day, and I got them mixed up, and one of them was 11 by 17, and one was 9 by 12. And I did the wrong one, so I had to go back. So this one, I said, somebody will buy it. Yes, Spencer asked me to do a color demon in a bottle. Get started on it now for like 2024, so I will have that with me as well. It's hand-colored demon in a bottle recreation. Now that I got my printer, it's really great because I can print those logos right onto the paper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the paste ups because when you do color commissions, it's like if you do paste ups, the old mechanicals, it's two different types of paper, so the color never matches up.
Right.
So I figured out a way to print the actual trade dress onto the board and then draw it, and it's all seamless that way.
Well, that makes it a lot easier for you.
Yeah, the one coming up, not that one, but that's a blank cover that I did for one of your OAX people as well. He wanted the Iron Man Mark VI from the movies, so there you go. Blessed his repulsors. This one, this thing came through our friend Jeff Harnett. Jeff.
Oh, I do.
And, it was one of his buddies, and it took a longest time to figure out why he wanted this, but he wanted me to take 126, which was an homage of this, and mesh them together. So this was actually a lot more difficult than you would think, because in order to get that flat color, what I had to do was draw this stuff separately, then gray line it onto the actual scan of the cover, and then ink over that because there's no way to get it otherwise. So it was a 2-day process to make this, but it came out pretty cool.
Yeah, Jeff. I think he's picking up a few commissions at.
He's been out there keeping me busy. It's good. But, I kind of like this process. This is why I needed a printer, because in order to do some of these color things, you got to absolutely have to lay down, like a flat color like that. You just can't do it with a marker or with watercolor.
Mm-hmm.
So it works fine. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, everything that's artwork on there is artwork. So, and hand colored. It's just the trade dress. I enhance it and just print it right on the board.
Sure. Hey, Antoine wanted to know is it a printer scanner combo, or how do you? Yeah.
Well, we went through 3 of them. This is the third one. Yes. It's an HP 7740.
Okay.
And no, it's not my first choice because I like the Epson better. But Joey found this one here in Korea, so I didn't have to order from the States because the one we got from the States wouldn't turn on. Apparently, the off-on switch blew the Epson, so we had to send it back.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one, it's really tricky because I have it's a Korean, even though it's American made, it's sold here in Korea. So there's a language problem between my computer and that printer because the drivers are all in Korean, right? So I have to go download the American drivers, and it's glitchy as hell, but I can get it done. The point of it is I have all the tools necessary now to do whatever I need to do here. So and create logos. I'm doing some stuff for Sean Clancy, so I need to do some black and white logos. Still can't find glue. Yeah, let's talk about the charity for a moment because this is coming up. I want Joey to talk about it with you. Because we got one more week to go before we actually sell this stuff, and we want we want to sell some of these. We want some of these CAF guys to buy some of this art as well.
Yeah.
Remember,
you guys, you just have to let me know where you're going to post them.
Well, tell again. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, yeah, when I was talking to the woman from the charity, Maggie, I didn't realize there's a really loud Dungeons and Dragons game going on right behind us.
Yeah, that cat back there he's really loud.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's got a voice that really carries through the room. So it's like he's like waving around and doing stuff. But yeah, it's a really good charity. They do a lot of stuff for single moms living in Korea. That they give like legal aid, and they give stuff like diapers and baby formula, the whole thing.
And not just Korean moms. So there's a lot of expatriate moms who are here, single mothers who
came here, and they so they do a lot of good work. It's one thing I like about the charity is they're really transparent about where all the money's going and stuff. I think Maggie might be one of the only people that works there, so it's pretty efficiently run.
So if you guys open up your pocketbooks and buy some of this artwork for a good cause, you can be assured that it's going to actually go there to help these people during Christmas time.
So on the 17th, I'm going to do in the shop. I'm going to do an event where we'll be we're selling board games, and then we're selling comic stuff too. And the board game stuff's just going to be like a silent auction where people come in and they can bid on it there. But I'm going to do I've got some comic stuff that I'll sell there too. But then I've also got I've got the art from Drink and Draw, and I'll put some of that out. And then I talked to Spencer, and he was saying he might do some stuff to help sell some of the other stuff, because
the more amateur.
Yeah.
So let's just be honest. Some of it we have a bunch of talent.
It's all going to a good cause, no matter what.
There's some pros there, as we've had.
No, I'm not including them. The pro stuff will sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing, I think there's some of the pro stuff that'll sell better in the States than it will here, because the general public might not know as much about who Minkyu Jung is.
But they read Dr. Afro, right? You know?
Some do, but yeah, it's still So there's some of those things that we'll be working on, some ways to get them sold so that we can get some money to the charity. Then I'll just let people pay directly to the charity.
Because it's Christmas time, it's the holidays.
Exactly. This is the time when they need it most.
Speaking of charity, do you have? Did Castro send you the CGC announcement that where I'm actually going to be doing a signing?
I don't think I got that from Castro. Actually,
go to the CGC site. They've announced that while I'm in the States, I will be doing a.
They did make the okay. Well, I don't think I got that, or somehow I missed that.
Well, then it's a good thing I'm putting an unabashed plug in here now, isn't it? But we'll talk about it next week.
Right. I mean, obviously, I'll plug the heck out of that for you, Bob. You know that.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, since it's the only time I'm going to be in the States, it's like it's a good idea. Well, also, like I said, by the end of the holidays, I should know what's going on with the movie, so I have a better idea of when I'm going to have to relocate to Sweden or whatever. So, in the meantime, I'm going to come back for 3 weeks. That's the plan, and I'm going to do OAX, and I'm going to do the signing at CGC, and we'll see what happens.
Perfect. Hey, before you go, Kazar wanted me to ask you something, and he sent me some scans to present it to you. And so I hope this isn't like too much of a gotcha moment, but I think it was a question he wanted answered. This is from Hercules 4, right? It was that climatic, end scene where Hercules tries to, drug Galactus, and he actually, thinks he got him, and of course he didn't. But Galactus takes his disguise off and everything, and he's out there. This is like a first facial appearance of Galactus. I mean, who modeled for this?
Nobody modeled for it. But the point of it was, I had to clear it with people first. But I said I really want, because the whole idea of Hercules was to poke fun, and since it's Olympian Awareness Week. Thank you for bringing this up, because this is actually Herc 4 came out in 1982 this month, so this is apropos. No, the idea was poking fun, and even Galactus being the absolute most revered cosmic character, I really wanted to bring him down to Herc's level to some degree, because the thing about being an ass is generally they always drag everyone down to their level, right?
Yeah.
And so just the idea that even somebody as omnipotent as Galactus could find Hercules' buffoonery amusing enough to actually laugh out loud. Well, I didn't want to show him laughing out loud with his helmet on.
Right.
It just wouldn't have the same effect.
It wouldn't.
And Byrne went on later to say that basically whatever race you're from, the Galactus looks like that person. This was
I remember that.
Yeah. I don't care what he did. It's like it's not up to John Byrne to decide what my intention was just basically to humanize Galactus somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Because up until this point, he's just really a statue that eats planets.
Right.
Yeah, he's basically a Bowen figure who just shows up. The Herald does all the talking, and he just eats stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've always poked fun at Galactus. In every series, I did something where I treated Galactus poorly. In the graphic novel, I had the inflatable Galactus doll that the crooks used to scare people off their planets.
It's like a Trojan horse.
Yeah, and then in the last series, he had an eating problem and he turned into a black hole. So it's like,
oh my! Well, thank Casper for this timely Galactus.
Well, I appreciate it. I know he's a big fan, so it's like, tomorrow I'm going to post the unpublished cover from this. I actually did a cover that wasn't used. Was with Herc facing off with Frankie Ray. It's a better cover, I think, art-wise. But they're saying, wait a minute, you're doing an episode with Galactus. You don't have Galactus on the cover. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah. But, that was, my big, I didn't want to give it away. But they're like, no, we need Galactus. So I had to redo it. So
of course.
Yeah, of course. But
well,
I'll post that tomorrow.
So do you have any more dining excursions planned before next week?
Well, we're going to go see Batman 89.
Next week, one of the theaters is rescreening the Tim Burton Batman.
And what they serve instead of popcorn is buttered squid.
You get popcorn too. But yeah, you get buttered squid.
Buttered squid at the movie theater. Yeah. So we're gonna go see the Tim Burton Batman in the theater. I think Monday, and eat buttered squid. So we'll get some buttered squid on there.
All right. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Okay.
All right.
As always, thank you so much.
Try to stay out of trouble. I know you've.
I make new promises.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I'll see you next week, and
all right.
Looking forward to it. And Joey, if you have any information about the charitable pieces that I can share before next week, if there is something, you let me know.
Okay, sounds great.
All right, guys.
See you next week.
Yeah. All right, there we have it. So, the blue crab. Who would have known? But I saw everybody in the chat was talking about how expensive it is here in the States now. So I haven't been crab shopping in a while. So, at any rate, so moving right along, we've got. I actually see Tatiana and Sonia's in the green room. So I hope they're ready and raring to go. So I'll just bring them into the stream and we'll get talking. Hi, how are you both doing today?
Hi, good.
Hi.
Ryan should be back on. I think he said he was on and he had a hard time. I told him to try to jump back on. So.
Okay, I was trying to see if I don't remember seeing him popping in, but I did hear a couple beeps now and again. So he probably was popping in and popping back out. So, so how are you both?
Good.
I'm doing good. How about you, Tatiana? How are you doing down in the States there?
Doing good. I was in Bill's neck of the woods last week, and the weather was really crazy. Last week, it was like there was a day where the high was 50, and then like 3 days later, it was all hot. It was so weird.
Yeah, there was a day where it was so humid here. I mean, I had all the windows open. It was nasty. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I think that was Saturday. I think that was the day we left. Yeah, it was bad. It was like breathing soup. Yeah.
And here I am.
That's what it's like here also.
Out of the garage to avoid snow.
Well, I'm sorry. You still had a good time though, right? You were at the parks and whatnot. So you at least it didn't rain. You had that going for you, Tatiana.
Yeah, it only rained one overnight, so that was really good. It was a very, very busy week. We did all 4 Disney parks in 4 days, but it was great. It was my friend's son's Make-A-Wish trip, and it was a really, really good trip.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I just saw Ryan pop in, so here we can get Ryan in here as well.
Yay! Hey, Ryan.
Ryan, nice to meet you.
Oh, you're on mute, Ryan.
Well, he's not on mute. It's just something's not right, though. Check your at the bottom screen. There's a settings button, Ryan, and you can check to see what your mic is set to. Every once in a while, the mic gets set to your external speakers. I don't know why. And then it doesn't look like it's airing, but it really doesn't work. But that happens to me every now and again.
It's definitely happened to me before. I don't know why it'll just reset itself, too, for no reason.
I think worst case scenario, if his mic doesn't get going, we can look into some sort of interpretive dance situation.
Okay.
Oh, okay. No, we're good.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan, you just saved yourself from interpretive dance.
I would have enjoyed it.
Sonia was all set to move along like that, but hey, that's all right. So obviously you guys got introduced on the during Comic Art Live that both Ryan and Sonia were coming. So that was great. I'm glad you guys were able to do that. I wasn't able to join you guys at that time, but so everybody knew you were coming, but I wasn't sure if we were going to get to do any pre-con opportunities, and that's kind of what we're here for tonight. We're going to announce the pre-con list for both of you, which I think is fantastic. There's plenty to choose from, and many price ranges. So I think that gives everybody a lot of opportunity to pick and choose what they want, and I appreciate that. It's great to see. We've sold a lot of pre-con stuff so far, and I think that just works well for everybody, right? You know that you've got things sold before you get there, and for the collectors, they know that they're picking up artwork irrespective of what they buy or try to commission while they're there. So I think it just works out well for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely appreciate the offer to collaborate on that, and yeah, we're excited to see what commission ideas people come up with.
That's always my favorite part.
Yeah, that's always like the nervous part for me, to see what people are going to come up with. We had who did we do in with last? Or it was Amanda Connor was on, and I had I'm like, there's going to be all Power Girls, right? No, I think there was one, but out of the 6 that she took, only one was Power Girl. And there were a couple Marvel characters and things like that. So you just never know what you're going to get as an artist, right? So I'm pretty confident at least half of the characters she got, she's probably never drawn in a comic before. So that's got to happen a lot for both of you. So how do you handle that? Just start diving into reference and figuring out the approach.
What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, you just kind of go in there and just use your iPhone and search pretty much.
It's not like back in the day as a collector back in the day, you used to have bring like printouts.
Yeah, can you bring
of the costumes?
Bring the comic.
Yeah, you don't have to do that anymore, but that was how it was back in the day. If you wanted anything that was a little bit different from the standard characters everyone knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really true. I forgot about that. People who would go to cons and get con sketches and had eclectic characters with specific costume requests would have printouts that they could hand out to the artists to leave it with them. So it made that.
I would say the only barrier now is just bad internet and not being able to search it. When everybody's using the internet and you're like,
mm-hmm.
I can't.
I heard at New York Comic Con, there were a lot of people who were frustrated with the bad internet there.
I'm old fashioned. I actually bring my own duotang of just my own printed out reference. I find it easier than having to always wrestle with the local Wi-Fi. And then if there's some obscure costume, I've usually got it. So every time I get a new commission that I haven't done before, I'll save all of the printouts of it and like put it in that duotang, and it just kind of builds up over time. There's some weird stuff in there. I'm hoping that the border never asks me about it.
Colin still goes old school.
Actually-
Yeah, Colin brings printouts still to this day because you just never know.
It's actually pretty fun when someone presents you with a character you haven't drawn before. So it's like the first time drawing that character. It's kind of fun.
Yes.
But do you let them know it's the first time that you're drawing that character?
Maybe sometimes.
Sure.
Depends how confident you are in your ability to pull it off well.
So Alberta wanted to know some of the more. What's the strangest convention or commission request versus convention sketch? Yeah, either or that you've got. Sonia, you first.
Oh gosh, I've had a lot of really interesting ones. I think some of the ones that caught me the most off guard is the combo ones I've gotten over the years. And I've done a bunch through Tatiana as well. I think I did a pirate. No, I did a Doctor Who Harley Quinn not too long ago, and just like unusual combinations of characters. And I'm like, I've never had to solve these two problems together of like vinyl and like a knit scarf. Yeah, no, it's happening, right? So I think that's the thing that I get that's the most unusual is like really unexpected combinations of characters.
How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, at San Diego, sometimes this one guy does like mermaid tails, like an anime character with the mermaid tail. That's
Yes, it's
unique.
a thing.
But one of the recent ones that was pretty fun was Rogan Gambit as Witchblade and the Darkness. It's kind of like a mashup. It was pretty fun.
That's
It's on my Instagram.
they're making you think. They're making you work twice as hard when it
Yeah.
gets that mental. It might start feeling like work, but that's cool. Everybody's got their thing at the end of the day. As far as the characters that go, for the longest time, I would always get either like a Wolverine or or Phoenix or something like that when I was first collecting, when I would go to cons or commission people. So everybody's got their bent. That's for sure. Jason only requests Goblin Queen. That is, whenever we do a mystery sketch around here, he always knows which one is his, because he's not only does he only request Goblin Queen, but no one else does. So it's very easy for him to figure it out when we're like teasing which the images and showing them off. He's
Interestingly, I have like 2 or 3 regulars who almost exclusively commission Goblin Queen.
and it's not Jason.
I think Jason's gotten 1 or 2, but I have another guy who's gotten a lot. Like that's his big request. So
Okay.
you guys probably have some sort of deep-seated redhead issues. I don't know. I don't want to get into that.
That is probably it. I married a redhead, so that's now. You know what? I never thought about that, Tatiana. But you make a good shrink. I had no idea that might be it. Wow.
There's a whole like TikTok trend of the celebrity or character, whoever you had a crush on growing up, and then you show like photos of your spouse. It's really interesting to see how that can carry through in your life, like even things that you're interested in when you were a kid, how that works its way into who you end up marrying.
People have a type.
Yeah, it's true.
I have a side thing. One of my good friends, she has blonde hair, but she just, for the longest time, she dyed her hair red. Like her boyfriend was a hairstylist, so she always dyed red. And then she just had she had a baby. She had 3 kids, but the middle one ended up having like very like reddish hair, and the father and her were blonde or kind of dark brown. So when she was born, or her name was Scarlet too, the girl with the red hair.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
You look at it, you're like, did some of that dye kind of like pass on to her hair?
Or does the mailman have red hair?
Yes, that is always I have a Maureen side of the family. No one has red hair but her, and so they always wondered, was it the milkman, the mailman, who was coming by the house? And I'm trying to think, who I had a crush on when I was a teenager would have been like Uma Thurman or the girl who played Audrey Horne in Twin Peaks, and Maureen doesn't look like either one of those. So unfortunately, that rule does not apply to me. But that brings back some good memories. I guess I hadn't thought about that in a while. And I saw somebody, what was it? Kazra said it's okay to charge Jason 50% more when he requests a commission. So Tatiana, just keep that in mind. The boss has spoken.
We'll have a Jason upcharge button.
Well, yeah, Jason said he's setting up. He's going to be at the Collector Alley. Actually, he'll be selling artwork when he's at OAX as well, along with Aranga and Mikhail. They're all
Very
setting
cool.
up together.
Yeah, I'll probably bring a few pieces from my personal collection, but mostly we'll have a lot of originals from Sonia and Ryan. But I figure since it's so many collectors and people that I know, I'll probably bring a few of my own personal collection items as well. I'm excited to see who all brings what. It'll be a really fun time seeing all that art out in the wild.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. And number one Marvel fan mentioned that. Where was that? Still love to see the that Adam Hughes Nightcrawler of yours, Tatiana.
It's one of my favorite pieces. Yeah, it's a really, really good one. That's one of those, the benefit you get of commissioning an artist to draw one of their favorite characters.
I had Adam Hughes draw my character like a long time ago, and guess how much it cost? It was only $20. This was like early 90s. I bought it.
I was going to say that was a long time ago. I think when I first started collecting Adam's sketches, pencil sketches were around 40. So and then you could always get one of somebody else to ink them. But yeah, that didn't last too long when I got
bought an original Mark Silvestri X-Men page, and he had like a $20 bin. So I bought it from the $20 bin. It only cost me $20. It was a nice page too.
Not bad. Don't let the X-Men fans in the audience know if you still have it or not, because
I lost it. No.
Hey, I can tell everybody I actually got to see the auction piece that Adam is putting in the auction. I got the image today, and it's gonna knock people's socks off. It's really, really good. Kazra and I got we're thinking like, what could we use this image for as part of the show, because it's very, very nice. So
fantastic. Well, we're all definitely very excited to see it.
Yeah, that's we've been that's like one of the first pieces we've gotten to see, that people are putting in the auction. So that was pretty cool. But I'm not showing it to anybody tonight though. So don't get your hopes up, anybody. Maybe at some point, maybe next week, I'll think about it. But tonight I'm keeping it to myself. But hey, why don't we go ahead and just talk about the commission options? Because I know that there's a few options in the option, so it makes it's probably better, Tatiana, for you to like when I go ahead and show them, you can run through them. I did put all the image options that you put in there as well. So we'll go ahead and start with Sonia's here. So let me and I could let everybody know too that all of what we're showing you right now was activated on the site just before the show started. So if you go to the homepage, right at the top under the new announcements, there's a link for Sonia and Ryan there. We don't have a web form for them because the options are kind of complicated, but you'll be emailing your requests directly to Tatiana, and her email address is on that page. And we can tell everybody right now it's tdeartsales@gmail.com as well.
And please make sure when you email me that you let me know that you are emailing me through the link on the CAF site, because I want to make sure that OAX gets their percentage for partnering in this. So just make sure you let me know that. And that they're picking it up at OAX. That should be the other main thing. That should be the giveaway if they don't mention that. But yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'll actually get your email address up on the screen in a minute. But why don't we go ahead and show the slides, because they actually have your email address on them. Perfect. So we always try to give a good amount of options for people, but you know, we have a wide variety of things. So both Sonia and Ryan will have 9x12 and 11x17 options. So for Sonia's, the 9x12s, they're all full figure except the head sketches. So this shown here is an example of a head sketch. This was obviously on a blank comic cover, but that's about what it would look like if you were getting it on a 9x12. And then we have options for if you wanted to add an additional character or some background. It just depends on kind of what level that you wanted. And if you are interested in something and you go, oh my goodness, this is too complicated, I don't know, this is, you know, what I want, but I'm not sure, just email me and talk me through what you want, and I'll tell you what that total is going to be. I'll add it all up for you and show you. So and so like this Black Canary is just a 9x12 full figure. And it's ink, obviously. So, and then if you want to see options, you know, things you haven't seen, you can let me know and I can pull some up for you as well. This is grayscale, so you can see the comparison. So the ink is just ink, and then the grayscale is using kind of more of just those tonal markers. And then, yeah, then this is the full color Phoenix here.
See, I was thinking that, you know, you see this and it's like, I want to buy that one. But yeah, so you have the options to add, you know, another character on these or a background. So like Tatiana was saying, and I felt this was probably going to be the case, but, you know, if people have questions or want to see other examples, you know, or whatnot, you're going to be able to either show stuff off the website or send them samples or whatnot. So that's perfect. Then let's see, I think we switch over to the
so that's also 9x12. I put that to kind of show you know, if you add a second character and then there's some more background elements in this one.
Yep. I thought we were moving to 11x17, but I forgot we did have one more in there.
Yeah.
There's a reel of me doing this one on Instagram, actually.
Oh yeah.
Since I've started, you know, it's part of the whole social media thing. So now I'm sometimes putting these online. So if you're ever curious how it's all put together, because there's some pencil crayon, there's some marker, there's a bit of everything in there. You know, just hop over there and take a look.
Very, very nice. I like this one a lot. And then now we're on the 11x17.
Yeah. So this would be, this is an 11x17. I don't think we charged for background on this one, if I remember. So they're just kind of some basic elements. Sonia has the artistic tendency to really want to ground her characters, which totally makes sense. So you'll often see little elements here and there, but we never guarantee those things. So I tell people, you know, if you want background, if you know you want, you know, Castle Grayskull back there, you know, you need to make sure to let me know, and then we add that in so that it's specific. Sure. And then it's funny because there's two of the 11x17s are the same character, a character I've only ever gotten commissioned twice, and both through Sonia, and they're for completely different collectors. So it was really funny. So this is one of them.
Do you think the second collector saw what the first collector got and had to get one themselves? Yep.
Yeah, and so this is full figure color, and I believe this collector did want some background elements. So. And then we can also always, if you want like a little bit of background versus like a full background, we can always talk about that and break things out. So I always want fans to get what they want and then make it, you know, as fair for everyone as possible. So I'm always happy to talk those things through if there's something specific that you want.
I did show them out of order, didn't I? This was the grayscale one. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is Veronica Lodge, not looking like she looked when I used to read Archie comics, that's for sure.
I was curious who this character was, but now it makes sense.
I've done so much Archie work, so I've got a reputation for a lot of Betty and Veronica in my background. I grew up on it too, so it's a double thing there. And to Jason, who asked about what I use for color, I use Copics primarily, so like Copic markers that you see all over. But I love layering my colors. So I think one thing that I do is pretty unusual is when I'm done with the Copics, I go in with colored pencil over top to give a completely sort of different vibe. And sometimes there'll be like a touch of paint in there, you know, if it's feeling good. But especially like I adore rendering different textures, whether it's like satin, vinyl, leather, fishnets, hair, metal, anything. It's really fun to be able to bring in pencil crayons or paint or what have you over the Copics to make those textures pop, if that makes sense.
It does. No, that's awesome. So I would encourage you know, anybody who's interested to go over and check out Sonia's work. I know you have a number of pieces posted over on tdartgallery.com, but now we can take a look at what we have for Ryan. And let's start off here with the 9x12.
So this is a bust. So in 9x12, you can get you know, the busts or kind of the full body. So these are the bust options. This is grayscale. This was actually one of the mystery sketch pieces last year.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we actually made an art type on CAF for mystery sketches, Tatiana.
Oh,
So
nice. Oh, that's very cool.
It's official. You know, we've created a thing now, thanks to comic art fans. I'm so happy. I feel proud. It joins the ranks of, you know, covers, interior pages, title pages, commissions, and now we have mystery sketches.
Well, I'm going to be talking about mystery sketches again right after we finish this. So that's exciting.
I had that as a note to remind myself to ask you about it, but awesome. So let's see. So this is, so you can see it's ink, grayscale, color. I think I have, you know, options here for full figure as well.
Yeah. So this is a full figure ink. And this was a in mystery sketch from, I think this one was May. A lot of people like that one. So make sure to put that one in there.
Definitely. And I think this is a 9x12 with an extra character.
Yes, and then I put this in there to show people that this is also considered grayscale. So it's anything that's, you know, more tonal. And when you see the color stuff, you'll see what I mean by the difference. But this is also considered grayscale.
Yeah, that size is 11x17. But
oh, you're right. Sorry, but if you wanted to get a 9x12, we could, you know, it can be done in a 9x12 too. It might just have slightly, it'd be less detail.
This one's gorgeous, Ryan.
It is. I mean, with this one, would it be considered, is this with a background where it would be charged, or is this one, Ryan, where you would just kind of put it in there to kind of fill out the space?
I think it was with a background.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Then let's see. So then those are the 9x12 options, and then you also have the 11x17.
Yeah. So this is a really good example of a full background. So I think on the other one, there might have been a discussion about charging kind of an in-between. They just wanted a partial. But this is a full background. So you can really see if you're, you know, really paying for a full background. And then this is an ink piece. And this was from earlier this year. So I think Ryan also made prints out of this piece.
Yeah. I colored it up in Photoshop.
Very nice. So something like this is it's $200 plus the background, so $290.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly. And then so this is color, so you can see there's a big difference between this and like the Captain America and Winter Soldier piece. So this is what color is. We did not charge this collector. The collector kind of wanted like a space, you know, space field kind of background, and so we didn't charge him for background because it was simpler. They just wanted her, you know, makes sense with that character. This is definitely a, you know, full charge background. If you want cityscape, that's a full background charge. So this is two figures. So this color, so $350 plus character and color, plus that's $175, and then plus background and color plus $150. So that's how you would add this one up.
Very awesome. So like I said, we've got all of these slides on the OA Expo website, and you can check them out over there. Tatiana's email address is on screen too. That's the tdartsales@gmail.com, and hit her up, ask her any questions you got. And too much math, says Marcus. Math is not hard, Marcus. You can do it. But yeah, right now, like I've tried to put little photograph images of the artists with that, but right now I just have text links for both Sonia and Ryan. But as soon as the show's over, I'll get nice little image banners on there for you both. But yeah, please do. Everybody should hit up Tatiana. You've seen the mystery sketches for a long time, so I think everybody has, because you've worked with me on mystery sketches since we've started them. So it's been four times that we've done it together. So I think you've seen Ryan's work and Sonia's work before, and it's high caliber stuff, just like you would expect.
Yeah, those are always so fun too. There's always some good requests in there, and then I always have the challenge of making sure that I don't give Alberto's to the same person, or have somebody draw Captain America who hasn't already done it before.
Right. So, yes, that is the thing. I think at this point, like I know that Jiggy does like a drawing. He just kind of, he brings everybody into a Zoom call or something and just says, we're going to draw straws, and whoever get, then it's just pick in order, and that way the artists get to kind of pick which ones they want, and then he tries to do the same thing. If he knows Alberto's got a couple caps in his list, he's like, please. Another artist has to pick cap this time, so we don't get Alberto, two pieces by the same artist, at least in the same year. But
I used to do it completely randomly, and then last time I had to stop doing that because I realized that I had to check who things were for and making sure, that we weren't duplicating. Or at least if it was a duplication, I could be like, hey, this is for the same guy who got the last one, so do something different. Do a different costume or something like that. So, but yeah, we absolutely love doing them. So Ryan and Sonia both we have kind of a soft limit of 5 per. That limit of, does depend on, if it's like 5, 11 by 17, full figure color with full background, like we're going to cut, that's it. But, if they're smaller ones, we might be able to take more. But I would definitely say request sooner than later. Lists do tend to fill up pretty quickly when we do pre-books for shows. So
exactly. And we'll be sending out a mailing tomorrow too for an OAX mailing specifically to cover your commission ops. So that'll probably go out around noon, I think. So we've got you covered that way as well. But
so if you're here tonight, do it tonight before all the newsletter people do it.
Exactly. We've got 71 people watching right now. So pricing's good. I think that that's the thing. We want everybody to be walking out of OAX with a lot of artwork. At the end of the day, that's going to be the thing. And just imagine what CAF's going to be like that week after too, with everybody posting the pieces that they've picked up. It's going to be fantastic.
So speaking of mystery sketches, some of you know that for the first time ever, we are doing a holiday box, and we are doing the volume 1 of TD art book. So it's a really high quality print. It's a really nice book. And the way that I'm doing them is as like a holiday box. So there's a fun kind of mystery component. So I had done 75 of the regular cover and 25 sketch covers, and the sketch covers sold out in less than an hour. So next year I'm going to look at that again. And Bill, I definitely want to talk to you. I'd love to do like a launch with you for that next year. People were really excited about it. But the reason I wanted to talk about it is not only is that great, those ones that sold, but I'm putting so many cool extra bonus things in here that essentially you're paying $49.99 for it's the regular cover of the book. And it comes with the box is going to have at least over $100 worth of stuff. It could be way more than that. I did some super limited print run mini prints. I did stickers. There's a bunch of cool stuff in there. And my artists are so amazing and drew so much cool stuff for me that there's the regular cover. Thank you, Ryan. So everybody gets that in their box, and then you're going to get a bunch of other stuff. My artists are so amazing that even all of the regular boxes have a 50% chance of having a free original piece of art in them. So I have 3 artist proof editions of the sketchbook. They're going to be spread out throughout the regular boxes. I have a few other comics. Ryan did a really cool Fathom sketch cover. I have artists who did sketch cards, and I have 2 like big prizes. Those are going to be full-size pieces of art, so that those will have little coupons in there that you contact me and I'll mail it to you after. And one of those, one of the big prizes is an unused cover from Sonia. It was speaking of Archie, it's a Jughead cover. It's gorgeous. It's got, they're all on like this carousel. It's just incredibly detailed. So that's going to be one of like the grand prizes. So that's worth like $500 or $600. So there will be no bad boxes. Everything's amazing. And you have, you know, a 50-50 shot of getting a piece of original art in there. There'll be signed books, prints, all sorts of stuff. So Marcus, yeah, that's one of the things. I didn't know, you know, how it was going to turn out. Marcus is asking why I didn't do all sketch covers.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how it was going to turn out. So this is the first time I've done it. I thought I would do a, you know, 75-25 and see. And I think next year we might change those ratios because they sold out so fast. But everything is incredibly limited. Even the regular cover is limited. A print run of only 75. So if you go to the website, tdartgallery.com, you go to the new items. It's going to be that very first item on there. And I have a direct Square link, purchase link on there that you can just click and buy. So you don't have to go through the whole purchase process. And they're more than half gone. So definitely jump on there. I am planning to do a giveaway. I'm probably going to be doing one through my social media, and then I'm going to be doing one with Bill and Kazra. We just briefly talked about it in email today, so we haven't decided exactly how we're giving it away, but we will be giving one of those boxes away. So keep an eye out for that as well. And they're going to be mailing out. I'm going to start mailing them out next week. So all the originals are coming back to me today. Ryan, I got your package today. It was fine.
All good.
Ryan was worried.
You made it.
And a lot of the mystery sketches from last month's show are coming in as well. So those are going to start going out too, because a lot of artists are sending those back with those. So, so if any of you have not checked out the mystery boxes yet, please do. You will not be disappointed. I want everyone to be happy. So these boxes are going to be just loaded with good stuff.
Yeah, I apologize for not talking to you about. I saw that in the email that you had mentioned wanting to do a giveaway with us, and the day pretty much got away from me because I could set it up right now, but we wouldn't. We should have started it at the beginning of our segment, not at the end of it. So we'll figure out how to do it. Maybe have you back on next week and maybe do like a 10-minute
we'll work it out.
thing.
I just want to give people the heads up, but we'll work it out for sure.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you guys having the time today to do this with us, and I hope that my audience delivers with a few commission requests tonight. And just remember that they do have a limit. The 5 is kind of the soft limit, as you mentioned. They're each going to take 5. Could be 1 or 2 more. Just depends on the complexity of the pieces. So keep that in mind, and and look for your mystery sketches in the mail soon. So all right, cool. Anything else, Tatiana?
I think that's it. I'm sure we'll touch base soon, and we'll be sharing out some of those mystery sketches, and then maybe sharing out some of the commissions as they get done as well. Before the show, we can sneak peek some of that stuff.
Fantastic. Yeah, that'd be great. And Alberto's shedding a tear because he missed out on the sketch covers too.
Well, thank you, Alberto, for ordering a regular box. And yeah, next year, I'll work with Bill, and we'll do a fun launch and make sure that you guys all know about it.
I'd love to work with you on that because it caught me by surprise because you had never done them before, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a test. Like, are people going to like this? And people are really excited about it. So, and my artists have just been amazing. Some of the stuff they've been showing me is just incredible.
Fantastic. All right. Well, again, sure.
I was just gonna say it was an honor to be after Bob Leighton. I had the the demon in the bottle comic when I was a kid. I'm kind of afraid. I'm not sure what it is, but I also have like this cover, and then I know he started Valiant, right? I still have these.
Oh my god.
3D
That's
glasses, but
awesome.
it's not the traditional kind, but you can use it on anything and it like pops things out. But that was it used to come with it. But also
The
like
sketches he was showing were amazing.
this is
He
an
still
issue
got it, doesn't he?
that I worked on 2002, the first appearance of Friday with Mike Grell. But
That's so
I
cool.
would say I don't know.
Right.
It wasn't a
Valiant.
direct connection, but like Bob Leighton, you know.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Bob. I haven't seen him in a while, so it'll be nice to see him. Bob's a really, really great guy.
Yeah, well, Ryan, if I knew you were a fan, I would have brought you on and you could have talked with him. I would have let you do the chat with him. But yes, you'll get to hang out with him at OAX.
And he can tell us all about that buttered squid.
Yes, he could definitely have his own show on the Food Network. I think he's really enjoying his time in Korea.
Not sure if I agree with him about the fish eggs, though. I think
I don't know either. I don't think he put enough rice in there to kind of mask the flavor.
Oh, fish eggs are like my favorite food. I'm really excited at Sunday night after OAX. One of the collectors who I know well invited me out. We're going to be going to omakase at Morimoto's.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't even with how excited I am. Like bring me all the weird fish things. I love it.
Oh man. Well, gosh. So yeah, but we definitely should maybe have you on camera again sometime next week so we can do the giveaway. That might work out well. Because I'm going to be in Ohio for the holiday. So at that point, my show schedule is going to be a little dicey for that last week of the year. But yeah, let's talk after the show. We'll work something out.
Yep. Yeah, let me know. And for everybody in the chat, make sure you keep an eye out on when I'm going to be on so you can be on for that giveaway.
I'll make sure they know beforehand. And again, the email address for the commission request, tdartsales@gmail.com, and hit Tatiana up and she'll take care of you. All right. Well, then I'm going to move on to my next segment, but thank you all for taking the time and hanging out with us. So I'll see you at OAX if I don't see you before then, Ryan and Sonia. So enjoy the holidays and
definitely
see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Have a good night, everyone.
You're welcome. All right. So there you go. We have another commission out there for everybody. And, and again, it's great. I think we're nearing the end of the pre-con opportunities that are out there too. I think we've maybe got 2 more to announce. Well, I can't even say that because I can't tell you if any of Jason's artists are going to be doing pre-con opportunities. I think they've talked about it, but we don't have anything in stone yet. And as a reminder, for those of you who weren't watching the Tuesday show, Essential Sequential, we've announced that David Finch, J.G. Jones, Dave Johnson, Sean Crystal, and Brian Stelfreeze will all be in attendance at OAX. And I do think a couple of them are going to be doing pre-con, but Jason's been pretty busy the last month. That's why it kind of took us a little longer than we might have liked to have announced all of them as attending. But my hope will be that there'll be a couple of them who are taking on a pre-con list. Let's see here. Did I announce John Byrne coming yet? No, I haven't, Jason. Unfortunately, no. I didn't. I have, John Byrne was actually one of the first people I asked to be on Comic Art Live on a panel. So I tried that angle early on and got rejected, I think 3 consecutive shows. Jim Warden asked, and he actually got a response once from John in that he was going to watch me do an interview with like the Walt Simonson, and then he would make a decision on that, and then he never got back to me. So I gave up at that point. But it is what it is. You didn't ruin any surprises, Jason. When is Aranga officially a guest? Well, he's officially there because he's part of Team Oreo with Mikhail and Jason. So he will be there. I can't promise you that he'll be dressed as Psylocke, but you never know. If you ask nicely, he might bring that costume, and he might be the only one cosplaying during OAX. It could happen. But yes, Matt Wagner's coming. I know Josh is a huge fan of Matt's. So Matt is not doing anything pre-con, but he is doing a very nice piece for the auction. He told me what he was going to be working on, and I think he's actually bringing some limited run stuff that he got that he may have even posted about it on Facebook. I don't know, not about bringing it to OAX, but he is bringing it to OAX. He's bringing something that's really limited. I can't remember what it was, but as soon as I know, you'll know, because I forget right now. Let's see here. So outside of all that, I think there's so many things to talk about OAX, but we can save it for another day, because we do have another OAX exclusive show next Tuesday, and there should be 2 or 3 pretty exciting announcements that we haven't talked about at all yet, and maybe, just maybe, I will show the Adam Hughes piece. So that he's worked on for the auction, but I can't tell you, I can't tell you all of it, because it's not done yet. There's other things in there. I think I'm not going to tease anything. Just keep my mouth shut. So anyways, moving right along, why don't I talk a little bit about some mystery sketch, since we talked about that already with Tatiana. Like I said, we've got the show tomorrow night. I'll be opening up those 2 packages. I did add mystery sketch as a art type. Now, Mikhail pointed out to me that it wasn't working right, and we've put like these noise words out there, and at one point in time, when our database wasn't as robust as it is today, we actually excluded the keyword sketch, because the word sketch brought back 300,000 pieces of art, right? And so we didn't want anything like that happening. So when we initially set mystery sketch up for an art type, it really is a keyword search. So it's actually only searching on the word mystery, not sketch. Well, today, if you go to the site, I could do that. I could just show you how it works, because I even forgot that you could do blank keyword searches and have it work right. Little bit of a surprise to me, but again, back in the day, we didn't allow that to happen, because blank keyword searches would bring back far too many items and would kind of ruin everything. But here, let me share the screen, and I've got it set to I just did a search for Hulk, but if I take Hulk out of there and we just go ahead and look at mystery sketches, what do we got there now? 160. So that's not too bad. I was trying to think, how many mystery sketches have we created since we started these, and it's got to be less than 500. But I'd have to go through and add them all up. I mean, we had 130, and then we did one, say like 120, and then 100. So what? That's 350, and I think the first one we only did about 60 or 70. So there's probably only 420 mystery sketches floating around out there right now, and it looks like we've got we've more than a third of them assigned. So anybody who has not put the word mystery sketch in the title of the piece, or gone in and edited it to assign it to art type mystery sketch, please get in there and do it. So, Tim D just posted this one, I think this evening. James Pasco was doing work with 4C, and I had heard that a couple people got their 4C stuff today. So, Mr. Pasco, who's the guy who does a lot of that cover, at least what he does, like the logo work. I know he does a lot of work for the Donnellys, but he's done a lot of other restoration work for people with overlays and whatnot. So not too bad. He put a little bit of time in there. Yeah, not too bad. You saw, the Carol Day was on there too. Yep, that was from Mr. Isherwood for Mr. Flanders. And there's the other one that I mailed out to Josh as well, the Dan Brereton. So good stuff, really good stuff. Ben Templesmith is here from this time around. There's a now, when was that one? I don't know if is that a new Bill Morrison that DT Tube has posted? Because I think Bill only did one mystery sketch this time around because of his schedule. At any rate, we'll be opening a lot tomorrow. So, and getting, I think probably 50. But Jiggy did tell me that, because I told him, Jiggy, I have to have the package this week so that I can, we can do a show. So he put it all together and got it in the mail on like Saturday. And, but he told me there was about, I think maybe 10 more. So he's going to be sending me another package. So there will be a third one. And whether I unbox that one live remains to be seen, because depending on when it comes in, I'll probably want to just get it open and get them out. So we'll see. But there's that. So please assign your mystery sketch, because it's the right thing to do. Schedule wise, honestly, I'm not adding anything to my schedule. If things are just so hectic here right now, it's Kezra and I were texting before the show. It's just like we're going to be in a frenetic pace until OAX is over. Well, or at least, well, yeah, until it's over. I was going to say till it starts, but no, it won't be. The pace won't lessen until the show is over. So I'm not going to be booking a ton of things, but I would like to get a couple of interviews in January. So, but I'm definitely not doing a single sales show after Howard Chaykin's art sale that we've got this Saturday. And but I will definitely be filling in a few Tuesday interviews here or there, and I'm sure we'll have a couple other OAX Recon shows also to to kind of promote. But I can't promise how many of those will be. It may be a minimal stuff. It might be for showing off some of the pre-con, showing off some of the auction pieces, and bringing on some of the artists to talk about those things. But yeah. So there you have it. Not too many new things on the list. But the one thing I did want to show was I could show you what we're going to be selling with Mr. Chaykin on Saturday. I do have that set. So let me go ahead and share the screen for that. This will go out in the mailing tomorrow. When we talked, Howard's been on 4 or 5 times already, and he always does something different. So this time around, when we were talking, we said, well, you should kind of go after like your greatest hits, I think is what Jim McLaughlin said. And then I think I suggested he should do multiple characters, put 2 characters on them just to make it fun. And these will be barely more than what we were charging probably with the one characters, although we haven't settled on a price yet. I have to do that tomorrow with him. But yeah, he just went through and just started knocking out characters. He's got Han and Leia. He's got Flag and Mandy. What else has he got? Flag and Raul. Of course, I think he did a couple of those. Again, Raul should be like holding a gun or something there. But yeah, he had a good time doing these. So another one with Flag. And what do we got here? Batman and Catwoman. Then Beverly and Dagmar. Yeah, he likes to draw the ladies. We know that Howard has an affinity for that. Then Pansy and Max. Yeah, sure. Then Beverly, all by herself. That might be the only solo one that he did. Or is it? Let's see. Fofford in the Mouser, Gray Mouser, of course. So that's fun. And Superman and Lois Lane. Oh, Dagmar. See, they were too big to be on the same paper. So there you go. What else we got? Oh, Wolverine and Nick Fury. So is that? Oh no, a few more. Luke and Leia. It's cold where they're at. And what do we got? Shadow and Margot. All right. So there you go. So those will be the pieces that we have available on Saturday. Good stuff. Any cover redos anymore? Marcus wants to know. He didn't have time for that. But more than likely, that could be something I ask him about in 2024 whenever we have him on again. But he was doing that Comic Book U with Mark Waid, so he had a pretty busy schedule. I know he was out. I think 3 shows in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So he didn't have as much time to really get through that. But yeah, greatest hits indeed. Howard delivers every time. He's like Bob Leighton. I mean, a consummate professional when it comes to stuff. And I thought that was cool hearing Ryan mentioned that, or maybe it was Sonia that said she really liked Bob's stuff. Bob's still got his chops, and so does Mr. Chaykin. So let's see. That covers a whole bunch of stuff. But one thing I was going to point out, everybody knows I'm working on Infected by Art, right? And the submission period ends on Sunday. And AI art is a big issue, with artists in that field, but also in comics too. I don't know if people follow anything on on Facebook or whatnot, but there's been a few comic related images that had popped up that were deemed to be AI, and so the artists are getting a lot of grief that are doing that, as well they should, especially when they're not, because some artists are using AI to just kind of give them a reference, which is cool, right? I mean, it can give you some ideas and you can work from it. Other artists are just using the tool to create art, and then they're not doing any manipulation to change it whatsoever, because they get good at doing that. And Sean says, yeah, got it. There you go. That's always good, Sean. Let's see. We don't know how Howard eats buttered octopus, but you can ask him on Saturday, Alberto. But as it turned out, so because of Infected by Art, I actually downloaded this plugin for Chrome that you can use to run against artwork that's online. You basically right-click the image, and you can see if the image was AI generated or not. Because if it is, I go in and actually refund the submission to the people who are submitting to Infected by Art. I haven't done it across the board on all 1,000+ pieces yet, but whenever a piece looks suspect, I've done it. So I was on CAF, and there was an artist. I'd pointed this artist out to Kazra like a couple weeks ago, and you'll see why we weren't really making a joke. We were actually saying his stuff looked kind of good. But I saw a piece today, and I went in well, here, I'll just go ahead and I'll share the screen. And I just thought this was interesting, because I emailed the guy and told him that it needs to get removed because it's an AI generated piece of art. And I said, and I checked, and he actually had a few other pieces that were as well. And I was like, son of a gun. And I told him, it's like, we don't, well, it's actually isn't written into our terms and conditions yet. We definitely do not appreciate or support having AI generated art on Comic Art Fans either. So this is some guy, Studio Herpel, started his gallery about I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. He's only added a few pieces, but so it's like, this is a nice looking piece, right? If I figured it even kind of looks like it could be traditional, right? Sort of something that Nick Barucci would want for a cover over there at Dynamite. But if you run this AI detector on it, boom, 100%, it is a AI generated piece of art. So I emailed him right away. I'm like, and if he doesn't remove it by tomorrow, I'll just remove it for him. But it's yes, exactly, Eric. The face on the left, very Frazetta. Absolutely. I mean, that's actually why I did it, because I was looking at it and I'm thinking either he's riffing on Frazetta too well, or So at any rate, so and the poses too. I mean, they're literally Frazetta. Shading on the hips and thighs, rib cage. I mean, it's straight up Frazetta with a mix of Dave Stevens in there or something. I mean, we all know they enter keywords in there to generate these things. But this guy had 5 pieces, so I go and I look at the other 5. So I look at this one. I'm like, okay, well, that's that's a Mike Mignola skull back there and there, and this is like Jim Lee backgrounds and run the damn thing on this too. And I think this one was, yep, that one's AI. And but then you go over and you look at this. Now this, you think, okay, well, this has got to be then too, right? Everything must be. And you run it against this thing and it's not. So the guy actually has talent. Why is he wasting his time doing AI generated stuff? I don't know. And I don't know anything about the guy. But so that one was, this one, I thought this one was AI generated, and it was because it's just too soft and not, you just can't even see any pencil lines on there. So that one was, and then this incredibly busty Vampirella. So I thought, well, this one must be AI generated too, because AI is reaching out to that side of things, and it's not. So he's got 2 traditional, 3 AI driven pieces in here. So I emailed him strictly about this one, but I said you better remove the other ones out there as well. So So there you have it. AI generated art has made its way onto comic art fans. So if anybody sees anything that seems semi-suspect, I don't think any of the collectors are going to do it, but some, you know, and we let a lot of artists use the site, clearly. But Alberto, AI wasn't around when he made the cap image, but that's an interesting thought there. But at any rate, so I would just say, for those of you, if you run across an image that you think could be AI generated, shoot me a link, and I'll be happy to check it, because at the end of the day, we don't want it. You know, we just don't want it. I don't mind it if if somebody is showing off, you know, a digitally colored piece that they had somebody do off of traditional pencils, those sorts of things. I don't mind seeing, you know, digital pieces that are done by hand at the end of the day on CAF for that reason. But there will not be any AI generated art here. This will be, if he doesn't have his stuff removed and he never replies to me, I'll just like ban and block his account and he won't come back. But I run it against James Siegel's biceps. Well, I don't think James is going to submit to that. That's kind of like a, some kind of a performance enhancing drug test. I don't think he'd want us to do that. Grant Riddle is a bot too, says Chris Snork. Well, so anyways, so there you have it. I thought that was interesting. I saved that one for everybody. Now, so we're going to keep things by biceps or implants. Yeah. Yes, indeed. But so a couple things. I got something I had. I've got two videos to show you. These so it's going to get us closer to the top of the hour, but I did these 2 or 3 shows ago and just haven't had the chance to show them because we've had those long broadcasts going on. But I've got first up, the Marcus and Tariq and also Kevin Sharp contributed some imagery and video for me from the San Francisco Fan Expo that happened the weekend before last, I think. So you know, it must have been early because it's not very crowded in the Artist Alley area, but you know, but good to see. I think you're going to get to see Silvestri and gosh, who else was there? I can't even remember now. But we'll see it here right now, because this again, and I appreciate the Marcus who's filmed many segments for us from the various shows that he makes it to on the West Coast. Maybe he'll make it to the East Coast sometime soon. Maybe, I don't know. But here we go. San Francisco Fan Expo video excerpt.
See, I get you on camera and I'm taking video for you now. See you on cap, man. You archiving that video?
What do you want me to sign here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. I don't have any idea. Usually when I'm doing head sketches, they're like 200 for...
Some of these shelves here, like it's just comics after comics.
And there you have it. A quick ending, but it was Morger talking with Eric Larson there, I think, right at the end of it. But yeah, the aisle space was pretty nice. And it was all carpeted too. That looked like it was very comfy, like we have it at OAX. So yeah, Invisible Tom Yates. I guess he was never at his table. I don't know. Jason almost has Larson's hair. Don't make him cry, Marcus. You're so cruel. But so I actually have another video for you. Well, I could do 2 bathroom breaks this time if I want. But this next one is provided by Mr. Kevin Sharp. I didn't promote it in the mailing. I totally forgot. I actually forgot to do the SF Expo one too. So that's on me. But Kevin put together another page I love with Chris Ryle. And I had this prepped and ready to go last week, the last show. But if I would have played that, and the SF thing, we would have gone till 1 a.m. So I didn't have time, but we're going to play it now. So I appreciate it, Kevin. He's got a few more for me to work on. So I know we'll have a couple more before the end of the year. And I like these segments. I think we're going to continue these in 2024.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Page I Love. This is Kevin Sharp. Today, I'm joined by publisher Chris Ryle, who currently has a imprint through Image Comics called Syzygy. Chris, welcome to Comic Art Live, and thank you so much for joining us. So you have chosen a beloved artist, but maybe a book that isn't the first that comes to mind when people think of this artist. Please tell us what your pick is for today.
Yeah, so I picked a page from Fantastic Four number 164, which was penciled by George Perez and inked by Joe Sinnott. Yeah, and I can get into the reasons why, but one of the main reasons why is because this is a page from the very first comic book that I ever bought with my own money, which was probably raised from, I don't know, doing household chores or something like that.
Were you a Fantastic Four reader when you would have bought this? Where were you in your comics fandom at this point?
I mean, this was like the very start of my fandom and my collecting. I had read, the very first comic I ever read was one that the neighbors kids down the block had, and it was an issue of Fantastic Four. It was 130, but I was too young to really appreciate it other than just being enamored by the cool visuals. Like, that was a book that had this Jim Steranko cover with Frightful Four. So there's all kinds of just colorful characters and larger than life stuff going on. And it was captivating, but I didn't own it. And so the first comic that I ever, like I said, was able to buy myself and own was this Fantastic Four 164. And so because of that, like the book, like that team, that family has always sort of held a revered spot in my head.
As we go into the page itself, what are the things that jump out at you off this when you look at it?
I mean, the thing that I've always been taken by with George is the amount of not only just the detail that he's so well known for. You see there's the first panel it opens with is kind of odd. It's the Thing and the Invisible Girl, holding on to one of Mr. Fantastic's legs as he's sort of drawing them into them. He's snapping them toward him. And there's a lot of dialogue on the page, as there was in just about every panel of every page back in that time. But so there wasn't really a need to have all that, the grounding sort of buildings in the background to really set the scene. Like, it would have been fine to just show the characters sort of being pulled through the air to make that same point. But I mean, George, like I said, George was never one to take the easy way out. And so he always put in these extra touches that just made his pages and his panels all just stand out that much more. So, I mean, that's kind of the first thing I see when I first look at the page, is just that, he grounds the characters within the city. They're not just floating in space like a lot of art sometimes is when there's dialogue all around it. But he grounds the scene in, you're very aware that it's happening within the confines of a city.
And you actually own the original of this art. Was there a choice of this particular page for some reason, or how did you arrive at this one?
There wasn't a choice. Like I think I had got it through Mike Berkey's Ramita Man site. I just happened upon it. And these kind of pages come up very rarely. Old George Perez pages at all, but certainly the Fantastic Four are hard to find. And so I don't know, just when I saw this, like that it was from this first issue that I owned it, 3 of the 4 panels are big figures. I love the way Perez drew the Thing, and I certainly love the way Joe Sinnott's inks sort of enhanced the rockiness, and kind of, throughout Sinnott's work on every Fantastic Four artist, he kept that consistent look and feel. And so I kind of love everything about it anyway. So had I been given a choice, like this would have been one of the top pages I would have gravitated toward. The other thing I love about it is that in the 3rd panel, where they finally join the scene, Reed is kind of drawing his legs back within, but then Johnny's sitting there on the ground in the most ridiculous outfit. This was the very first this issue had the very first date he went on with Frankie Ray, who eventually became Nova, and he shows up in this just ludicrous this cowboy outfit with his vest and these striped pants and this like gaudy shirt. And so you can't make it out in great detail in that panel, but just that, you can see that goofy outfit on this page too was kind of another part of its charm for me.
So I'll ask you kind of a big picture question here, no pun intended. When you think of the Fantastic Four and all the great artists who have worked on that book over the decades, where do you think Perez fits?
3rd. I mean, the Kirby Sinnott run is untouchable, but for me, like, especially in the era that I was really reading and loving the book, the Byrne era looms real large for me, but Perez is right there behind him, and maybe not equal only because he didn't do as many issues. The ones he did were great, especially the ones inked by Joe, like I say. But I remember as a kid, even before I knew creators' names, like I didn't, you just read the stuff as kids and looked at the pictures and read the words, but you didn't pay attention to the credits too much. But there was something about George's early work, and same with John Burns, that I knew there was something, I don't want to say greater because that's very subjective, but there was something about their styles that stood out to me as special. And so George, even before Byrne, was the single artist I think that stood out to me the most as just, hitting all my sweet spots, just doing something that were just what I wanted superhero comics to look like.
Chris, that's a perfect note to end on. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Happy to talk to you. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. And welcome, Chris. Still dressed up from your Christmas party, I see.
From the Christmas party.
Did you were you good, or did you have tip a few back at the Christmas party?
I may have had a couple beverages.
Okay.
What of it?
Tap wasn't like going off like crazy like
nothing I hadn't had before. Just fuel for the machine.
Awesome. Hey, well, since I noticed this in the chat, I'm going to bring it up now. But I confirmed it. I saw Rich Danny's mention that Roger Hill has passed. I mean, it's absolutely tragic. I was actually texting with Roger not like 2 months ago, asking him about trying to get him on to do an interview, and I should have done it years ago. But Roger Hill is probably one of the biggest EC fans out there. He wrote for CFA, APA. He's edited numerous books, on many. I think somebody mentioned Reed Crandall. I mean, many artists. He's had a hand in writing things about them. And I actually had never met him. I mean, but his name is so iconic with original art collecting and preserving the books that we love and stories about the creators that we love. So absolutely, and a very important gentleman in the hobby of comics and art collecting. I mean, here he is. His note on there is the day I bought Wally Wood's original art table. So he's got a weird science cover sitting on it as well. So just a really, really interesting guy. And I regret the fact that we never got a chance to talk. That's awful. But and I'm seeing this is, I guess he passed yesterday, and but people are just finding out about it tonight. So yeah, that's a great loss. But he did a lot of great things. And again, I'm sure if you went over to Amazon and plugged his name in there, you'd be able to see all the books that he had a hand in. So my condolences to his family and friends and everybody who knew him, because I regret that I didn't have that opportunity. So awesome
to leave behind a legacy like that, though.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, he's pretty dang amazing. So yeah, well, so with that in mind, out of the way, but wow, that's tough. So but Chris, so we got some work to do. It's nice to have you back.
Thanks, man. I feel a little out of practice, but I think I'll get the swing of it.
Yeah, and we've got, we're throwing a curveball next week. We won't tell anybody about it just yet, but next week is going to be a little different. And I emailed with Ron Lim. He, because he had thrown his hat in the ring for doing picks. I asked him if he wanted to do the first Thursday in January, but I guess he's not available. So he's going to do the second Thursday in January. So I hope that's okay with you. But I figured we've never even had Ron. Does anybody know what Ron? I know what Ron Lim looks like, but
I know
we've never had him on the channel before. So I'm excited about that. But hey, let's go ahead and dive into well, let's see here. What do we I guess we can go do the heritage picks first. So I've got to move a couple things here and get these for us. Yeah, it was kind of, I wouldn't say it was slim pickings. It was different kind of pickings this week. So let's see here. So first up, I thought this was pretty cool. This is it's from 1979. So right around the time you get Cockrum working on X-Men, he did this as his little placard at a con. It's a painted piece. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, she's not even it's Phoenix. I love it. I mean, look at this piece. You're never going to find another piece of art quite like this. Look at that.
Funny that he and Byrne were both such big Star Trek fans too.
I know, isn't that weird? But there it is. I mean, I just think that's damn cool. I mean,
I think Wolfie's got a beer.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. So it's only at $7.75 right now, but I think that's got to do really well. I think there was actually a couple Cockrum pieces in this auction. Yeah, it was there was a pencil sketch. I think it was, gosh, I can't remember, like Storm and Vision or something like that. Let me see, is it easy to find it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it was Storm and Vision. There you go. So even that was in there. I didn't pick this one, but take Vision out of there. I like Storm. I mean, that's but nobody, please, if you buy this piece, do not erase the Vision.
Erase the Vision, please.
I know he doesn't belong in this one, but I mean, it's so nice to see Dave's pencils only, right? I mean, you're so used to just seeing the ink stuff, but this is Dave's still, he's still got it right in here. I mean, this is a really nice piece, even with the Vision in the background.
I like Vision, so I would be more tempted to be okay, I'll cover up Storm.
All right. See, to each their own, right? At the end of the day, but yeah, I thought that was nice. Clearly in somebody's sketchbook that they tore it out of there, but I like that one a lot. I mean, there was I think on eBay there was a Wolverine that Dave had done that
I saw that
$750 or something.
Pretty tight too.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it had a year on it, so you couldn't tell when it was done, but it was decent Wolverine, and the price. I mean, at $750 or whatever it went for, that I figured it was going to go for around $1,100-1,200. So
I actually wondered if you would sully yourself to do an eBay auction to get that. Actually,
honestly, I thought about it because I have I've got Phoenix and Cyclops, right? But they're on 11x14 boards, and that one was cut in a square, and 10x10 or something. And so I actually thought about it, and then I thought, well, shoot, if I'm going to get it, I want it to be on the same. As stupid as that seems, right? The same size board. Maybe one day I could get the whole team on the same size board.
Hodgepodge from con commissions. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. From the same era, right? When he was working at at that same kind of level. Probably impossible, but I did think
a Cockrum quilt.
Yes, exactly. Then I could frame him and have him on the wall. But let's see. Maybe Vision had a secret crush on her. You never know. Well, or at least the fan who commissioned Dave to do these did.
Bill, you could mat out the extra space if it was bigger.
That is true. Maybe I should have went for that one because it went lower than I thought, and it wasn't a bad image of him. I mean, he was kind of nice. leaning a little weird, but again, it was tight, very tight. Nothing's impossible. Only the cost is prohibitive. See, Jason's been around the block a few times.
He's got a point.
That should be the slogan of for all of us original art collectors.
Ooh, Southern Comic Geek with the dad joke.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Vision like storm, but it was just a phase. All right, Jason. All right. So speaking of Jay Lee, I saw Jason's had a zinger out there earlier, but let's see. Jay Lee, Al Milgram X Factor page. I like this one. I love it just because if you squint at it, I just love the black composition on this thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice? It's good. I like this page a lot.
It's dark. There is I mean, this is a Milgram like vibe for sure, but also like, so JD posted a piece recently that is Stroman Milgram, and I would kind of say the same thing about this piece, which is that like Milgram's doing like he's doing the heavy lifting here, right? Like he's reining this all in.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, but it's great, and I know I actually almost picked the Stroman Milgram piece by Jason. Sorry, Jason. It was on my short list, but didn't make the cut. But yeah, this is very nice. $800 already. Wow. Well, everybody likes early Jay Lee, so I can see why that would do well. And next up, Greg Capullo, Pennington, Angela Page. I mean, I don't know anything about Angela. I remember when we had that card art from Joe Phillips, I had to ask him who the hell Angela was. But you know, early Capullo, right? I mean, I like his style, and Pennington's inks on it is pretty decent. So, you know, I mean, it's a good page. And I thought the composition on the page layout was kind of funky, like doing that there and an indent here. I think I have another.
It flows down that way, kind of like you want it to.
Yep. And she's taking a bubble bath there at the end. I didn't even notice that. So there you go. They did lots of crazy things in the 90s. This is from 95. I still wasn't reading comics at this point. Then I got this Paul Gulacy, Pablo Marcos, Master of Kung Fu splash page.
Oh, wow.
Just awesome period, you know, and I love Gulacy. And how many times, it's funny, remember there was, we've seen so many good Master of Kung Fu pages, DPSs that Gulacy's worked on. I mean, and this is, you know, indicative of, I mean, just that background is just cool. I mean, the fact that he's just throwing in pipes and machinery and what they thought was cool tech, which was grid patterns colored sporadically there in the background, but
kind
I mean,
Kirby-ish in a weird way.
Yeah. So very nice here. I like this one a lot. And that one's already over 1,000.
Shang-Chi needs to drink like a gallon of water. He's clearly very dehydrated in that image.
Yes, he is. Let's see here. What do I got next? Okay, Savage Sword Conan. We see a lot of this stuff, right? But this Alfredo Alcala's inks on this thing are freaking
special,
unbelievable. Look at this. This is it's Buscema pencils, Alcala inks.
Look at that third panel. That's some Wrightson level shit there. Wow.
I mean, this is the shit, man. When I saw this, I was like, I want to place a bid on it, but then you know, I know it's going to go high because this is such a good example.
Oh man,
isn't it beautiful?
What more could you want in a Conan page for that, man?
I know.
I guess a decapitation maybe, but
yeah, if you're Anthony Snyder, but yeah, I mean, this thing it's fantastic. Holy, I mean, I'm looking at it. I mean, it is. This thing is, we don't see these on Dueling Dealers. We always just get the, you know, the subpar ones, but this is a good one right here. 7 likes to 50. Hey, Nick Barucci, you can get us to 50. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. What else did I pick? Oh, Murado. I picked this Vampire Tales. I'm not familiar with it, but I just like the moody kind of atmosphere period piece here. Murado,
I think we actually talked about a piece from this book as a pick maybe a few months ago.
Okay,
I think so, because the quality of this is reminiscent of I want to say that same book, and that look at the ink work in that window in the top panel. Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too, because when I looked at it, I was wondering, is he using like a sponge to do this? How is he getting the texture on there? But yeah, no, the first panel is what got me, and then just looking at the rest of it, I just thought it's just a fantastic page.
It's lavish. I mean, that's like comic strip level work where you like can really afford to pour over those 3 panels or that one panel or whatever. But this is the whole page.
Right. And it'd be nice if this was oversized too. I wonder. No, it's not. 10.5 by 15. But again, just very nice example there. Then Steve, how do you pronounce his last name?
I say Scroachy. I don't know.
Scroachy. Yeah, I think that I was going to say that because I think I've heard you say that before. So this is from X-Man 14. But this is Bud LaRosa's inks on this thing. This is just the composition's great. Just all out crazy action in this X-Man title page, right? So it's cool. You even put their names etched in a little rock there. Look at that. That's awesome.
Rock there. Yeah. This is like proto Scroachy because like I feel like I first really took notice of him when he had that really short Wolverine run. And him on Wolverine was like, wow, like mind-blowing stuff. And this is like maybe 4 or 5 years before that. It's kind of almost like that Capullo piece you showed where it was like, man, and in just a few years after this, he just took a like hockey stick jump in like ability.
Right. Well, this is a good one. And it's at $1,000 already. That's I mean, again, this is really day one. We don't see too many pieces, jump that high right away. So then over here, I think I picked something from this era with Irv Novick. I just like them. This is just another really nice page. I just love this stuff. And Bob Smith inks on this one, but yeah, just solid. So this
is what you were missing out on when you were a kid, Bill, not buying Batman books.
Well, if they wouldn't have had him like fighting a clown on the cover of it, I might have actually enjoyed it, and turned a page to see what was on the inside.
Julie Schwartz was not your friend.
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, look at that. I mean, I love that first panel. I mean, she's gorgeous. I mean, that's just well drawn. You get the bat shadow in the background there. I mean, this is great stuff. And then yes, Bisley. This is I mean, I don't even know what Maximum Force is, but it's from '93. But this is tight, early. I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
But what is it?
God, great anatomy for Bisley. I mean, that's not like, I mean, the cyborg or whatever that is more typical Bisley, but that's almost, I mean, that's dead solid for anatomy wise. Wow.
I agree. And unlike on the show last night with Anthony, we don't cover up the naughty bits here when we're doing my show. So only my daughter does that. But yeah, I like this piece. Very cool. And this last one, I mean, I've always been saying I want to get a Lee Elias war page. I just don't want this one, unfortunately. So that's why I figured I'd show it. I really do want to get something by Lee Elias, some kind of war piece. But I like, there's so many ones with warplanes in it. My dream is to get like a couple pilots dropping bombs somewhere.
This is not the one.
No, it just doesn't have it. But it's a great example of his work. I love. You can see Kniff influences on his in the faces and definitely in the ink work, but it's just not the right page. I hate to say it. So, so this one will go to somebody else. But I was just happy to see it. It's like I've been waiting. There was a period in time where they were in there for like every week for like 6 weeks, and I didn't bid on any of them. Then I haven't seen one since then. And that was about a year ago. And now
that's how it works.
So maybe this will be the first of another 6 in a row. Let's see. So there we go. We got that out of the way. Now we can, a prayer circle in the water. That's right, Marcus. It just isn't the right page for me. Sorry.
If there were sharks. There were sharks.
And if we had some frogmen in there or something.
There you go.
That would have worked. But the thing is, it sucks. It's like, you have that. There was, I always said that, Benno had a page in Comic Art Live, like 4 shows ago, and it was like guys in a bomber, and it was they weren't even dropping bombs, but you could see other planes in it, and so that's my image of like the perfectly Elias page, and I haven't seen that page yet. That made me feel the same way. So Jason says he has shark art though. Okay. So now next EXP preview before we get into the CAF update. So I've got that from Nick, of course, every Friday at 7 p.m. over on the EXP channel. And guess what? I will be joining Nick the Friday after next. Obviously tomorrow I've got my mystery sketch show, so I couldn't do it with him tomorrow, but next Friday we'll be I'll be joining him for that hour of power that begins at 7 p.m. on Friday. I can't ask Benno for it because he sold it to somebody else. I actually asked Benno to buy it because he hadn't marked it as sold in the last hours of Comic Art Live, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I sold that that afternoon or something." So I did ask him for it. But anyway, so the hour of power with Nick Barucci is really more like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, 7 p.m. on the EXP channel. Here is the preview of what Nick's got to offer tomorrow.
Everybody, this Friday, December 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the countdown to the holidays has begun. So we're going to have a really cool show, lots of art, different price points, lots of fun. Let's get into it because I ramble on and on and on. So we're going to have this Teen Titans 52, page 2 and 3, George Perez, Bob McLeod. Then we're going to have Star Wars, Vader, Last Command, number 3, page 22. And then we're going to have number 4, page 5. Check it out. We're going to have a Savage Avengers by Butch Guice. And you got to love this with Doctor Strange, Morbius, and the Man-Thing. And more. Let's see if I can get it in right. All right. Then we're going to have 4 pages at $100 or less. We're going to have this House of M, Masters of Evil by Manuel Garcia, Scott Hanna. Then we're going to have Fantastic Four, Blue Line pencils, inks by Scott Hanna, Blue Line Leonard Kirk. Then we're going to have this Hawkeye, which is really cool, Tom Rainey and Scott Hanna. And I don't think this Marvel Knights is supposed to be here. It's Marvel Knights 13, page 18. Amy, is this supposed to be in the 100 or under section?
It most certainly is.
All right, Amy's the boss. It most certainly is. That's the end of that conversation. Then here's an artist. I don't believe we've ever had any of his art. Lee Weeks, X-Men Magneto War. I checked everywhere. There are hardly any pages out there, so I'm going to put one of my pages out. Then we should get to this David Finch cover. We didn't get to it last week. Then I have the Storybook Collection X-Men title page by Pat Olive. Then I've got this Nightwing double page spread, which is just freaking awesome. Check it out. Then I have this Batman 558. If we're going to do Nightwing, may as well have some Batman. We're going to have this Justice League International by Kevin Maguire from the one of the follow-up runs by Keith Giffen and JMD Mateus. Then we have this Fantastic Four page, and this is such a great personal page. I'll get more into it during the show, but it's a convicted criminal who's accused of murder, who says this is the one crime he didn't commit, and he gives the priest a letter to deliver to the Human Torch. He went to high school with the Human Torch, and the priest brings it to him, and Johnny looks into it. It's really, really a great story. I'm actually getting some goosebumps talking about it. Then for the win, we're bringing Wolverine 107, page 11 by Anthony Wynn and Dan Green. And since Godzilla is all the rage right now, I thought that was a perfect page. But wait, there's more. Amazing Spider-Man number 13. We've got the pencils by John Romita Jr. and the Blue Line inks by Scott Hanna. You're going to get both together. Then we have Roderick Kingsley, issue 13, page 20. Again, pencils by John Romita Jr., inks by Scott Hanna, Blue Line. These are sold as a pair. And since last week, we had the Heroes Reborn with the Squadron Supreme. I thought this recreation of the Squadron Sinister would be cool. Plus this Fantastic Four George Perez cover. I couldn't afford the original. The original went for $120,000 in Heritage. This will be more affordable. I'm debating. This may not be up for sale. I just picked this up at Comic Art Live, and I keep going back and forth about whether or not to keep it. This is just so cool for Marvel Fanfare number 3, Dave Cockrum. Then there's this Butch Geist Captain America 600 page. We've got this Thanos page that we did not get to last week by Jim Starlin. We have the Spawn Dark Ages by Liam Sharp that we didn't get to last week. I have a John Walker Captain America page right here. And we're going to go back to Squadron Sinister. And if Amy can, she will find us some commission cover art by Ken Hazer. We haven't had much of that lately. And what I might do is do a post-Black Friday blockbuster pricing. So, Friday, December 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Check it out. Hit that thumbs up and share. Sharing is caring. Look forward to being seen by you on Friday. Have a great one.
Indeed. Nick, don't sell that Cockrum page. Hell no. Keep that for yourself. I mean, who doesn't want a page from like the first 3 issues of that? So no, you can't sell that. I mean, that's you got to keep that one for yourself.
You can't hear me during the videos, right, Bill?
No.
Okay, good. Because I made an unseemly noise when he showed that Geist cat page.
I get it. I think I screamed a little bit when I saw that the Cockrum page. Shoot, there's some good stuff in there. I want it all for myself, Marcus. Anyway, so let's dive into the CAF update here so we can get on with things today. So let's see here. Dealers haven't, they had a bad, remember, we didn't really talk about them last week. Last week they did $71,000. So that would have been in the report. Not much to talk about. So even this week, not much more to talk about. $123,000. So yes, times are tough if you're an original comic art dealer, no matter, who you are. But I think, Felix, I don't know if Felix was number 1 last week, but he was number 1 this week. So out of that 123, he made up 40,000 of it. So a third of the art sales that I can track were all done by a rep. So the vintage art dealers are, they're kind of not doing as well as they have done in the past. Berkey had 25 in sales, Albert had 24, and Anthony had 16. So, yep, it's the holidays though. We do kind of focus more on buying a few things for family and less things for ourselves. That could be a factor as well. Let's see here. So top 6 items from dealers. We got, again, there's that low total, 123,285. We've got, and if I'm not mistaken, this was sold complete. Steve McNiven, Silver Surfer, Death Haven, sold by Felix for $20,000. Then the other big sale that Felix had, and I forget about this one too. If it was Ryan Otley cover at $10,000. So there you go. There's 30 right there. That's 25% of all the art sales that I tracked last week. Then we've got this $9,000 Art Adams X-Men Annual 14 page sold by Albert Moy. Hey, Cyclops Bondage. Say something. Then, oh, hey, look, it's Ethan Van Sciver, and this was sold by Albert Moy. It's Sinestro Core, what was Absolute Edition wraparound cover, $7,500. Then Red Sonia, Frank Thorne, title page. Oh no, is that? Yeah, title page. No, page number 1, Marvel 1977, sold by Will. And then this is from Legends of the Dark Knight 25 cover. Gil Kane art, obviously, and sold by Berkey for $6,500. There you have it. Those are the top 6. So yeah, down week. I mean, but you know what? I think we've typically seen bad weeks in December, but maybe not this bad. So, is what it is. We'll ride it out, everybody.
We're still here.
Yes, exactly. Auction results. Let's see. So the week before last, when I didn't report on it, it was 362,000. This week it is 331,000. Of that, eBay made up 170 of it, and Heritage made up 160 of it. So pretty evenly matched. So let me go ahead and show you the top 3 eBay and the top 3 from Heritage. So over on eBay first, this is from Jimmy Olsen, believe it or not. You wouldn't think that just looking at those first couple panels, but Adventures of Jimmy Olsen 144. Jack Kirby, of course, The price on this one was $7,900, but it did go with at a make offer at $7,000 even. Then we had 2 Brian Lee O'Malley Scott Pilgrim pages in the 2nd and 3rd spots. This one sold for $5,750 actually. Great page. This other one, I like this one even better because that this last panel. This one went for $6,500 straight. No better offer on that one. That's so the middle panel is just freaking great. Love it. I would have liked that page, but those are pretty strong prices. I didn't know they went for that much. So Heritage next, we got a Ben Edlin Tick page, went for $7,200. You don't see these too often, so I guess that's why it went that high. And then you have a Ryan Otley Invincible Splash, went for $5,500. And then we have an Excalibur #3 page here, rounding out the top 3 by Alan Davis and Paul Neary. This one went for $5,400. And that's you don't mess with Juggernaut.
I remember that sequence, reading it from when I was like in 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I didn't remember, and I didn't read Excalibur until I got the trade from Tatiana. So I did get to read that, but yes, that's a new one for me. So there you have it. That's our update. Jason loved that piece too and couldn't swing it. Well, that's because you're saving up for OAX, Jason.
I think it's because he's constantly buying other art.
I know. It's like James. I remember like a year ago when James said he was scaling back, and it's like every week James picks up 2 new pieces. How does that man do that? I think I've got some mojo every once in a while, and then I go and look at James' calf gallery, and I realize that I don't play in the same league as he does.
Yeah.
James says he's scaling back this week because of the holidays, I'm sure, James. Yes. So what do we got here? All right. So yeah, Nick says we were all saving for OAX. Well, that's what we like to hear, everybody. Nick is going to be at OAX as well. If you hadn't heard that, Nick will be there. Ken Hazer will be there. We never talked about Ken doing anything pre-OAX ish, but I mean, maybe he and I can talk about that and maybe do something when we're on the show together in a couple weeks or a week from now.
Chuck Arnold actually busted me this week because I had said like, oh, I really want to buy X, and he was like, there's going to be so much art at OAX, don't do it. And I was like, damn you, Chuck Arnold.
You hate it when Chuck talks rational.
Voice of reason.
Voice of reason. Huh. Well, you know what? Chuck has given me some good advice over the last couple of years. So you're right. Maybe he is. He's got some fatherly wisdom.
He's a bit of a sage.
That escapes us. But at any rate, yeah, I hope everybody's saving up for OAX. I told you, Maureen said I can have a 5-figure budget at OAX. I was like, seriously, honey?
Wow.
She was like, yeah, it's your show. You got to make sure you're spreading some money around. I'm like, wow. She never tells me anything like that. She's usually looking at the credit card statement, wondering why I went to, what did you buy at Barnes and Noble or whatever. I don't scrutinize your credit card bills, so but yeah. Anyway, so that's good. But I hope everybody is, because it's gonna be. But the thing is, people are spending. I haven't even looked yet, but we've sold so much in pre-con stuff. It's pretty. I think we're over 300,000 in sales, which is fantastic. I mean, it's spread out from the from the Sean Murphy stuff as well. That certainly goosed it a lot. But
I'm like 1% of that number myself.
I know, right? I mean, and I've picked up. I'm on 3 lists. I got to see my Matt Allison Cyclops the other day. So yeah, no, but I always wait. I don't jump in early. If people don't get them, fill up the list. I was all set to get on Amanda's list. I thought for sure, because it stopped at 5. And then well, I won't say who got number 6. They know who it is. They were in the chat earlier. And but I was sitting there just going, all right, we're going to stop right there. And then literally like 10 minutes after the show, I got number 6. I was like, dang it. So, yep, there you go. All right. Well, we can roll right into our picks now. So let me go ahead and queue up your stuff first. And I just for the hell of it, I was testing out that AI thing, and I did it on your picks, and every one of them came out to be not AI. Of course they weren't, but I was like, does this thing really work? before I like pass
Yeah.
judgment on this poor guy doing a Frazetta riff. And sure enough, yes, it knows the difference between real art and AI generated. So let's see. Now this is in George Hodge. George let me know the other day he will not be making it to OAX, unfortunately. George, we are going to miss you, my friend.
That's a blow.
I had this vision that maybe we could get your band to play, but maybe that'll be OAX too. So we'll have to try to work that out. But you will be missed, my friend, at OAX this year. I should test every piece tonight.
Tonight
only. So tell the funny thing is and I didn't know this was George's piece, but the moment I saw it, I thought of his Sean Gordon Murphy commission. I was like, wow, that because I didn't know that there was a reference to that, but now I see this and it's George's, and wow, it's like I've come full circle now with this. So tell me about this one.
So I picked this because, and it's funny because the Felix sale was kind of coincidentally timed in this instance, but I picked this because I think what McNiven is doing now is such a clear, like Barry Windsor Smith influence. It's almost like overtaken his style in a lot of respects. Like you still see McNiven in here, but this is not the Steve McNiven from Civil War. This isn't the Steve, like there's a clear like demarcation point almost in what he's been doing, and he's really got this Barry Windsor Smith influence happening now, and it's on this page in spades. And that Silver Surfer book as well. And I mean, I know there's obviously been more of it too, but I just think it's so interesting that he artistically like turned this corner.
Yeah. And now is this inked by him?
No,
Leighton, yep. But clearly, the way Jay's inking it too. I mean, look at that. I mean, the way every brushstroke is pure Windsor Smith. I mean, that's slick. But that's great.
If you've seen McNiven's pencils, I mean, he doesn't leave much to the imagination. Like, you know, as the inker, like what your job is.
Yeah, I like that drop by Felix. I waited till it was all over and just went over and checked out what was there. But yeah, I like McNiven's stuff. Got to talk with him a little bit at Heroes. I thought sorry. No, I thought I might try to get him to come to OAX, but I'll at least tell everybody McNiven is not on Felix's list. But everybody should know that next Tuesday. Well, okay, is it a given? Is it a sure thing? I'm pretty confident it's a sure thing. Casper's going to make it happen. That Felix will be on with me next Tuesday for the OAX thing, and we will be announcing Felix's guests, and that's where we pretty much will be done with the guest list announcing. So, yeah,
that's a good list.
It will be. It will be. Yeah, it's I think we finished things really well with Essential on Tuesday, and then doing Felix as our last one. So yeah, this is great. So congrats, George. This is a wonderful, wonderful piece.
Really pretty piece. Yeah.
Now, who is it? Oh, Simon K. Okay. This thing is phenomenal. I mean, I love, I'll let you talk about it.
Well, Dan T likes to tease me on Discord that if you pay attention to my picks, it's very clear what I gravitate toward. And it's no secret that if you're doing tonal work at this level, that like I'm interested in it. So I'll just get that out of the way. But this is that's really why I picked this. I mean, he's doing so much, gradation, so much tonal stuff, so much. I mean, to the point where I would assume this were digital if I didn't know that it wasn't. His level of talent in this medium is it's insane. I mean, I can't think of too many people that are like kind of doing it at this level, so to speak. But this is beautiful. I love, it's kind of the prototypical like Spidey image, like he's saving some people from some falling rubble, and he himself is kind of in danger in the process. So I do love Airbrush Marcus. But anyway, I love the weight. I love the tone. And I mean, I love the gradients that he's getting in this.
Yeah, I mean, I love the amount of detail he puts in the characters, and then leaving everything a little loose around him and the rubble and everything just makes
Mhm.
it look like it has motion, and everything's moving, and I love that, and I love that's yeah, just and the composition's perfect too.
Mhm.
The way he's kind of focused everything into the center that way too. So wonderful
Yeah,
piece.
you've got the backlight, like the open sky on both sides of that like chunk of the freeway or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And like your comment about the figures is really apt, because like the other thing that does really effectively is it pops those figures.
Mhm.
It provides emphasis, because to your point, everything else is a little blurry, shady, whatever, but they're very tight.
Exactly. I mean, this is even in front of them, and it's
Yep.
handled, treated as if it was this other piece of rubble far in the distance. So, yeah, I love it. And it was funny when I first saw this too. I thought, is this digital? When I was looking at the thumbnail, because this is so slick. The way he's rendered Spidey's costume here, it's just so well done. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Technically perfect.
Mm-hmm. So congratulations to again Simon K. I got to go check out his gallery. I know I've seen some of this in some of the stuff that they collect, but I can't think of any of it right now.
I feel like Simon K is one of those collectors where I'm like, okay, don't pick from his gallery again.
Yeah. It's tough sometimes, right? When you're scrolling through stuff and it's like, man, I picked too many pieces from this guy before.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at that. Yeah, they've got we have picked pieces from their calf gallery numerous times, I think. All right, what do we got here? I know it's Art Adams. Oh, look at this. It's Jason. Look at that.
So this is the problem you have when you have Chris Snorik doing your art picks. I don't care about the White Queen. I like that background. And the fact that he like sweat and slaved over that line density, those different line weights, and the stacking, and like how crowded they are in places and how sparse they are in other places. Like, look what a cool, like almost, I don't know, like visual trick that is.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way he's messing with the line weight, to give it.
There's a little spatter in there, like right around where her like power effect would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it is captivating, that's for sure. Yep, her eyes are up there. That's right. Yeah, fantastic. Jason, didn't you just get like an Adams piece recently?
This is my point.
What the heck, man? You got a problem.
Yeah.
There's a 10-step program for this.
This is an
We're gonna
intervention.
have to
Jason.
start the Art Addicts group.
The Art Adams Addicts.
Exactly. Because didn't he pick up something at New York Comic Con?
Almost positive.
Something he just couldn't pass up. I remember somebody else didn't pick it up, so he got it. But good going, Jason.
Addict.
It's like me trying to get the Dave Cockrum stuff. He's getting all the Art Adams. Let's see here. Next piece. This is in whose calf gallery is this?
Paul P.
Paul P. Yeah, I think I got that from Paul too. But yeah, look at this.
I just love this. Is so batshit. Like everything that's happening in this image is like mayhem. I absolutely love it. And to be honest, this was a last minute pick, because something that I picked subsequently disappeared from CAF for some reason. Yeah. But this was an easy backup, because I just love the mayhem that's on this page. And who better to draw a like monstrously thick Spider-Man character than Ed McGuinness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's doing what he does best right there.
It is sort of semi-comical, but I mean, yeah, over the top musculature on this thing. But yeah, I think you'll see the piece I picked, and you'll see similarities and why I picked it. But yeah, this is great. I didn't see this one. I don't know how I didn't see this one. But
I also love how I love how crowded the image is in this case. And that's not like a dig. A lot of times that would be a dig, but like there's so much to look at here. And the the weight of the piece being at the top, like literally like rec wrap is this like massive thing that's like pushing the whole image down. And then you've got, I don't know the name of the villain, but the villain like kind of like rocketing up through it.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Paul has a good eye. He definitely has he there's no slowing him down either.
No, he's voracious.
Yes, he is. Marcus says grave goblin.
Okay.
Not the crotch goblin, but the grave goblin.
Fitting.
Let's see. Next up, we got now this is in Robert Meyer's Calf Gallery, and it's John Hebert. Is that right? And Bill Anderson or Herb?
Don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think he had a very long or storied career in comics. This is probably the only time you'll see me pick something from him. But I love a good device. I love a clever composition, and the fact that the image is taking place in the rearview mirror of a car. I was like, oh yeah, that's good. So I basically picked this for how like what a great idea that is for a cover, and to be seeing Ghost Rider in your rearview mirror and like poop in your pants. That's a pretty awesome idea for a cover.
Yeah, I like the inking technique in this thing too, because I mean, look at the spacing between lines here everywhere. I mean, they're really well, except in his jacket, but everywhere. I love this. I mean, you don't see that. That's like, it's so loose. It's almost not even needed. But even, that's just, I don't know. When have we ever seen that kind of spacing? But it works really well overall in this piece.
It does add a little, obviously it adds a little like visual interest, if nothing else, right? To your point, it's not doing any kind of like quote unquote shading necessarily, but it's breaking up those spaces.
Mm-hmm. Slick. I mean, it's let's see here. Let's see what did it look like in color?
Yeah, typical.
Yeah, KB Toys. But yeah, good pickup there. I mean, it's that's a nice one. It's a #1. I didn't even read that. #1 from the 1993 run. All right. Well, congrats, Robert, for that one. Now we've got a Batman 100 page here.
So I've picked Guillaume March a few times in the past, and I think I normally pick his stuff because I really like the visual quality of his work. I feel like he's terrific with anatomy, but two, I love how dynamic his stuff is. He keeps things really loose. Like his Batman almost looks like feral at times. He looks so like wild and sinister. But I picked this because it's actually the exact opposite. Like this is so quiet, like so dialed down. There's so much reliance on the ability to draw the facial expressions to get the emotion across. It's got this little like cell phone photo like framing device that's going on instead of the panels, which I think is also kind of clever and cool. The inking, like the fine lines in the sweater are so nice. Her freckles look so cool. I just think like this is so understated, especially compared to, like I said, normally what I associate from him on Batman. That I just thought it was worth highlighting. And I think this is a tough artistic assignment, right? Like you get this page of script and you're like, oh, okay. And I have to draw, 4 little vignettes basically. And like the characters like emoting and, you have to show frustration and worry and like all that kind of stuff. I just think this is like beautifully done.
Mm-hmm. No, it really is. I'm really, and just the work in the sweater is fun too. The patterns there.
Yeah.
So yeah, love it. And I love the like you said, using the phone as a device for the panels is clever. I can't say I've seen that before. Let's see here. And I didn't check to see, okay, Stefan H. Then now this is a really nice Corbin page. I like this one myself, but you got your picks in first.
So I think I've said this before. I'm actually not a huge Corbin fan. And that's maybe a failing of mine because obviously I acknowledge he's an incredible artist, but when he did this Hellboy book, I was like, all right, well, I love Hellboy. I'm going to check this out. And like, this was kind of an epiphany for me to see him like to maybe work, maybe all it took was like working on a character that I really like, I guess. But this was a, you know, like a light bulb moment for me because I got Corbin after I saw this work. So to me, I basically picked this because like this was kind of an important book for me, like in that respect. Like learning to appreciate Corbin was a, you know, a necessary thing, I guess, in my evolution as a person who appreciates comic art. And you know, to say nothing of the fact that that's a really badass explosion. The lighting is done like incredibly in that panel in the middle there. And everybody loves those like hand lettered sound effects that he did. Like they're so uniquely Corbin. Like you can't see a page that he did that on and not know who it's from. So just, you know, all over a great page, but like on a personal note for me, like this was kind of a watershed moment.
Yeah, and the explosion was what got me on it. It's like that to me. I mean, I love the page overall, but I love that panel. I mean, it's there's so much weight, and I don't know. There's a sense of you feel the explosion. I mean,
there's energy. Yeah,
there's a lot of energy in that, and the lettering helps it out. But typically, you don't see that. It's like this explosion has mass, like you know, a bit of the, you know, whatever that is. I'm presuming just like some smoke clouds coming out of it. I mean, he's done a lot to make you feel that explosion.
Yeah. And he's actually abstracted it to the point where it's almost hard to see Hellboy in the image. And then when you start to look, you realize that like, wow, what like an incredible job of lighting he did.
Right. And I mean, you know, those are his horns, I imagine. And you
right.
just
There's
drawing
the
the shadow coming off of him, you know, I mean, that's, and just the way he's handling the tips of his finger. I mean, it's smart. Everything about it is really well done. So, yeah. That's a really good Hellboy page. So Kyle, congrats. That's a winner right there. Antoine says it doesn't even need the lettering. In its own way, you know, you're right. I mean, it would be fine without it, but you know, I mean, him adding it, I mean, to him that was his, you know, he felt he needed that as a finishing element in there. So
artistic choice. You know.
He's got the thumb bump here too. So
that gritty bottom panel also is not, I mean, not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all. Friends of old Mike Mignola Foom. Okay.
Foom.
Then we got a Mike Manley cover. This is in DT's calf gallery, who always seems to pick really good stuff. But this is really nice. I like this one. I like it's so in your face. You know, it's awesome.
So Mike Manley, in my opinion, underrated artist. You know, kind of really picked up this book when it was still quite hot. You know, this was like not long after John Romita Jr.'s run, and it was like the second, you know, monthly Punisher title and whatever. And I just think that this is like, as Punisher images goes, or as Punisher images go, I should say, like this is kind of what you want. Like he's, you know, he's slugging it out, or you know, he's about to be guillotined by this madman behind him. He's got a gun in his hand. He's gritting his teeth. He's got stitches on his face. I mean, that's like what you want. And then add in the fact that it's like on tone for the character, but it's also like on tone for like the art style of the book. Like I said, he picked up after JR Jr. You can kind of see a little bit of that in this. Like he's trying to keep the tone consistent. So I just think that this is like you know, it's a cool composition. And like you said, it's very tight in on the two characters. It probably looked great on the shelf. I don't remember buying this, but I'm sure it looked great on the shelf. It jumped out at you. And I don't know, like I said, Mike Manley's kind of underrated.
Oh, I agree. I think I've always thought his stuff was good, but yeah, this is really, it's just really well done. I love
garrote. Thank you, Marcus, not guillotine.
Oh, garrote.
That wire strangle.
Oh, yeah, okay. And Lord of Flex says this is classic Frank Castle. Yeah, this is a great piece. So DT, man, he definitely gets some good stuff. He's in my watch list, so I follow him. But yeah, that's a good one. Wow. All right, what do we got? No, we got two more pieces here from you. This is well, we talked about EC earlier with Roger Hill, and here's a great Wally Wood Weird Science page from 1952 with all that great hand lettering on it.
Yeah, and look at that scan.
Oh my goodness, yeah, this is fantastic.
the detail in the space suits. I mean, like the classic early sci-fi, like globe helmets. Like as far as like an EC kind of like space piece, this has it all. Not to mention that it's Wally Wood. So I love this. I love the shading. I love the folds in the cloth. I love the texture and the craters. I mean, this whole thing is like a feast for the eyes, and like that classic like square jawed stern astronaut guy there in the front. I mean, this is like a museum piece as far as EC space is concerned.
No, I agree. That's if I was ever to own a Wally Wood piece, I would love to get something from this era. I mean, this is what you want. I mean, you want a spaceship. You want his crazy detail in whether it's a spacesuit or the inside of a spaceship. I mean, when you think of Wally Wood, that's like, to me, that's the first thing you think about. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'd actually be pretty happy if I could ever get like a Sky Masters daily that had them in a spacecraft, right, with curved pencils and wood inks. I'd be fine with that. Because I don't think I'll ever be able to put a piece like this in my collection. But yeah,
Lee Harmon makes a good point. I think he has this whole book, or this whole story, I should say.
Oh, really?
I just picked my favorite page, but he posted several.
Okay. Oh, it does say complete story. Yeah, there you go. So he's got the whole thing. Interesting. I'm glad it's all there.
Very cool.
Still intact. Yeah, that's fantastic. Shoot. All right. Well, I'm not gonna close that window.
It appears to be in great shape.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. All right. Well, one more piece. I know what this one is, by Mr. Paulo Rivera.
I had to pick this one, Bill. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I left it initially. I was like, Bill will pick this if I don't. So it was going to get picked regardless. But like, I'm such a sucker for this image. I mean, this was comics for me, when I was young. And that image is like so important to so many of us. And to see Paulo's take on it, I thought was phenomenal. Like, he does such a great job of like kind of boiling it all down, putting it all together. But he retains like his style. Like, this is his mark making. This is his like, painterly look at this. And so I think he did such a good job. Like, I've seen so many people homage this image or, outright rip it off or whatever. And a lot of times it's such a, I don't know, flagrant tip of the hat to Jim Lee that like you start to lose who's actually doing that version. But I don't get that here. I mean, yes, still clearly an homage. The poses are the same or very, very similar in most cases, but this reads as Paulo Rivera. And I think that in itself is really great.
Agreed. And I just thought it was masterful that he got it into one.
Yeah.
It almost feels taller than it should, but it's not. It's a standard dimension, but it's crazy how he did that. I mean, we've seen so many other people kind of reimagine this cover, and most people kind of stick to the tried and true
wide
layout, right? I mean, at least keeping it horizontal. So this is a ballsy approach, and he pulls it off, because
even to put Magneto in the
like the corner box,
box, yeah.
I mean, it's not a corner box, I guess, but yeah, but still, it's just freaking. It's really well done. Paulo's the man. That's why I was so happy when he agreed to come to OAX. So yeah, that's a good one. And let's see, I got the like on there. So George, congrats. George has a pretty good calf gallery.
No question.
All right, so I'll stop that one because I'm going to go back to that EC story later. I don't know.
I'm curious to see what you picked this week, because I struggled a little bit.
It took me a little while. I think I actually have 11 picks, strangely enough. I don't know how I ended up doing that, but I did. So let's see here. Highlight that. Okay. So this one, I use this as the graphic for the show. really wasn't familiar with Maxi Dallows, and he with his work. And the thing is, he's going to be at OAX. Mark Hay works with him, and he's apparently in the States. He's in Texas somewhere, so he's flying in with Mark. And I don't know, not being familiar with his stuff at all. The more I looked around, I was like, he's pretty good. I think he's originally from Argentina, and Mark reps a lot of guys that are and gals, I think a few female artists as well in South America. But this is just a really fun piece. I mean, I love the heavy textures he's using here in this nighttime cityscape. I mean, it's just really heavy. I love the treatment of the bricks. I think Spidey's fun. I love the perspective. I like it. There's like a story here. He's taking a break. He swung through the Burger King or something like that and picked up a drink and a chicken sandwich. I don't know, but it's a good piece. And so and I like his style. I mean, again, the guy I don't know anything about.
So Eric Winger very excitedly showed this to me over the last weekend. Was like, did you see this? This is so cool. And I was like, at first, I'll be honest, I was like, this is somebody who's trying to be Daniel Warren Johnson. Like, that was my first pass at it, especially the stuff that's going on in the city, like the dark portion of the city. The subject, even a little bit to me, was like, this is something he would do. Spidey's chilling out eating a sandwich. It's not the expected, kind of like composition or the what you would think. But then the more I looked at this, when I saw it was the show graphic, I was like, I'm gonna go take a look at that again. And the more I look at it, the more I realize, like, yes, there's influence there, but this has got its own charm. It's not a rip, right? It's influenced by. And the more I looked at it, the more I realized, this artist has his own thing going on. So I kind of I warmed up to this.
Good. I mean, it's because I went through and I looked at a lot of his other stuff too that's on CAF, and I thought, he's definitely got talent. I'm curious to see, what he brings to the show. I might even, if his commission list doesn't fill up, I might get something from him because it's always nice to discover somebody new. So I thought this is good. His stomach sense was tingling, says Rick Welch. Okay. Next up. So wait a minute. Did I acknowledge? Let's see. Foggy Bottom. Yeah, that was Foggy's piece. Okay.
Baller.
So Baller, exactly. So Garcia Lopez, another OAX attendee. I did not pick these because of OAX, but I thought this was a good image. I mean, but then it made me think: doesn't Batman always carry like a little breathing thing or something? Why isn't he pulling that out? Maybe he's unconscious, but I don't know.
He's about to.
Yeah, exactly. But I just thought I like this image a lot. I mean, he's like in a well or he's in some sewer underwater. I mean, it's just I love the cant to the perspective here. I love Batman looks like he's floating. His cape is kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
it's a really, really great image. And it was funny when I first saw it as a thumbnail. I thought it was Gene Colan. There was
I get that. I
was like, wow, that's weird. I don't.
The blocking is very Gene Colan, and honestly, the exaggeration of the figure.
Yeah.
Is
so. Look at Antoine said the same thing. But yeah, there was just something about it as a thumbnail, really, that had it, and I think it's the cape. Just there's something about that, but still, great image, and I mean, I like this. I mean,
I had this one in my basket, so to speak, to pick initially, and I told myself, you cannot pick Jose Luis Garcia Lopez again. So I'm glad you did.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good piece. So anyway,
this is almost not. I mean, it is, right? But that colon thing, man alive, it's really prominent.
Well, it's even in the inking. It's almost like as you look at the way he's inked Batman here. That's kind of some of these marks are like the way Palmer would ink colon, and that's why it threw me as a thumbnail. Yeah. But I like it because this is all Jose.
Maybe he was going through a period.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like,
So
you know who I love? Gene
who?
Colan.
Yeah, exactly. So wow. Well, we could ask Jose when we see him.
That would be amazing.
Nick
Be like,
says
what
it's
are you
one of the
talking
more.
about?
Yes. So let me get my like on this one here. So this is my pick from Paul P, by the way. And it's from the same issue. I didn't see the piece that you picked. I picked this one because I just started laughing when I saw this thing.
This is wild.
What was it called? The Octo Ball, the Dr. Octo Ball. I mean, only in comics can you get something like this. I mean, this is just goofy, and and it's McGinnis too, so I like that. But I thought it was really, because at first I thought it was MODOK, and I started laughing.
I was gonna say it's kind of like Dr. Modoctopus.
Yes, that's what it. Yeah, that's how it should have been. But look at this. This is just a fun page, and I love the the way this third panel and the second panel are kind of interacting, with the shadow on Spidey, going into the black background here. Just, it's fun all around. I really like this piece a lot. I like the way he's handled the lighting on the Octoball. Yeah, there it is. It has a Mad Balls feel, says this Marvel fan. Anyway, I just like this piece. So it's cool seeing the piece that you picked too. I actually didn't pay that close attention to our picks commingling on.
Well, the Paul P pick for me was the one to replace the Miller.
The Miller, right?
That was the last minute. Yeah, I really love the pose that Spidey's in the last panel there.
Yeah,
Very
cool. It is. It's very good, and it does have I saw Joe K from Big Trouble in Little China. It does look a lot like that creature, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, this is we were talking about James earlier, so here is a Mike Allred Silver Surfer page. Just really, I mean, I love Allred stuff. I mean, we all know that. I like this piece because typically we don't get to see Allred doing a lot of painterly stuff going on here, and I love him doing this heavy black and then the mid gray tone. It's fun, it's unique, it's just something that we don't get to see him do. And you don't notice it even at first, but I just love the wavy panel here. I mean, on both of these, they're not identical. Everything, it just adds to the kind of the motion that these pieces have.
I wonder if this is an homage to the Little Prince.
Huh, I didn't even think about that, but
the swirly, like they're on these like itty bitty little planets, like the swirly like inking stuff. I certainly wouldn't put that past Allred to pastiche or homage that.
Yeah, you're right. But James just expanding his repertoire of things he loves to collect. We saw him going after some Joe Linsner stuff recently, and now he's moving into Allred. Where will he go next?
This is cool. Do you think that the gray tone is gouache?
I don't know.
It's really pasty looking to. Well, no, there's some like streaking to it in the ink, but or maybe the white is.
Wait, am I? Huh. Well, I'm just laughing. 3 out of my 4 picks are people coming to OAX. I did not do it with that intent, everybody. I'm not trying to make this be a commercial, but yeah, this is just so nice, man. I like this page a lot. James did really well by getting this one. Doggone it. All right, I hope this next one is not an OAX attendee. Okay, no, it's not. Roy Mercado from Next Comic Art, who is going to OAX, but Roy is not. Overall, I mean, kind of a piece, but I just like the way he's rendering her here. I mean, I love just his shading technique. Just take the lines this way, take the lines that way. I just thought it was really fun, and I like the detail in the guns. I like the red as the accent behind her. I could have done without the guys in the front here, and just had it be kind of like a Dave Johnson kind of cover without him. But
it does have that feel.
Yeah, and but yeah, this is nice, and yeah, and what was it from? Let's see. Oh, and a yearbook, a reprint cover, huh? But anyways, I like Roy's work, and but again, yeah, it's funny. I could really do without the characters there. I just thought I love the work done right in through here.
It's a little like odd to me that like Snake Eyes isn't more like tightly rendered because of Baroness in the background. I mean, obviously it's a stylistic choice because it does draw your eye to Baroness like past the two like figures in the front. So I definitely get that, but I think you're right. Like, were they not there, it would almost look like a propaganda poster for Cobra, which I think is like a cool way you could have taken it too. But this is a cool image. I'm actually going through a little bit of a GI Joe renaissance myself because I'm all done buying Masters of the Universe for my nephew, so I jumped to GI Joe, which was my next great love when I was a little kid. So
cool. Introducing it to the nephew, that's great. I mean, that's awesome, man. Very Alice Resident Evil. Yeah, I guess you could say that. See that too. It's the guns. She's not really pointing them at anybody though, unless I think she would miss if she fired.
It's hard to aim two things with
exactly when you're not even looking down the sights on them. Now this one, Jeff Senior. Now I actually just picked this because I like the guy's story. So Michael Reyes had said, I've been obsessed with Unicron since I was 10 years old in '86. Been watching Transformers movies, so I collected various incarnation of his toy, including a recent HasLab. Again, I don't know any of that. Fast forward to this year, blessed to acquire this massive painting, 42 by 30. So I don't know. I think that's kind of cool when and it was published too. Let's see.
If you're gonna paint Unicron, you got to do it big,
right? And so, I think that's, I don't know. It's back to just kind of what you were just talking about. You're going through a renaissance. Well, here's Michael going through a renaissance on something that he's always enjoyed, sees a piece of art that he's got to have, and he gets it. And there's I like the technique in this piece. It's reminiscent of a lot of, several sci-fi artists that I admire that are out there.
I'm really taken with this. I mean, the visual like layering that the painter achieved is kind of amazing. And then the fact that so Unicron is so big that you kind of can't perceive his head the way that you're perceiving the rest of his body because it's so far away. It's basically like in the sky. And the way that he illustrated that, like when you look at the piece as a whole, is like really effective.
Oh, I agree. I like it. And this one, I kept going. It was in and then it was out. I'm like, I like the story in this one, so I'm going to keep it. It was 42 by 30. So, and Jeff really Senior, cool. I think there might be only 2 Jeff Senior pieces on CAF. So it wasn't an artist that I didn't do any research or anything like that. But yeah.
Not coming to OAX.
Not coming to OAX. There we go. All right. Another one. There was actually, there was somebody in the audience earlier who's going to OAX. We haven't announced yet. I'm not sure when we're going to do that. I'll have to talk with the boss when we're doing that. But yeah, very interesting. And a painter that's going to be there. So let's see here. What do we got next here? So this was in McSpidey Fans CAF Gallery. Kari Andrews.
I think it's Carrie.
Is it Carrie? I don't know why.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I may actually have him on sometime in 2024. I was emailing with a friend of his, and we might have like a group interview sometime in 2024, which would be cool because I always liked his work. Definitely a style that's changed quite a bit over time.
Almost a chameleon. Like I feel like every time you see his work, it's like.
So I was right.
60% different.
Did you hear that, Chris?
What?
Nick says it's pronounced Kari.
Okay.
So,
Car. Okay, Car Andrews.
Yeah, I always thought it was. I don't know why. I don't know. I didn't hear it from him. I think I've just heard. I think it's because I was talking with his friend, and his friend kept calling him Kari. So, Jewish Dragon says that Jeff Senior co-created Death's Head.
Oh,
Marvel UK character. Okay, I did not recognize that name at all. So cool. But so anyways, back to what is this? It was a variant cover to Spider Boy. I just like his style. I mean, I feel like he's kind of, like I say, everything about him. It seems like he always kind of is just changing his style a lot. But it's always solid. I mean, I don't know if he's riffing on a couple different favorite artists from the 90s here or not, but this is just a great piece. I love it. I
It's got a
love
Stephen Platt feel to it.
I was thinking Platt and a little bit of maybe Silvestri, from in the composition. But either way, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's far more Platt, but it's just fun, man. I mean, it's very nice. And for some reason, I mean, Scott, I know usually has some like really tight scans. This one seems a little fuzzy. I'd like to, Scott, I'm making a request if you're out there sometime to give us a better scan on this one.
I would speculate that he actually doesn't have this in hand yet.
Aha, a premature post. Okay, it's one of those. Well, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I've done it a few times myself.
I have too.
And it might be oversized. Okay, Mick Platt, says Marcus. Okay, I like that. A little bit of Kaluta. There's a little bit there, sure. Like Kaluta from the 70s, the way he handled lighting, for sure. I mean, there's a little bit of golden in there too.
Yeah, Von Baudet.
Yeah, but yeah, right. So nice pickup. I like that, Scott. I mean, you're still sticking with the Spidey theme, but a very entertaining piece here by Kari. Now I picked this one, and I shouldn't have, because now Jason's going to yell at me or something. But I like Jay's stuff. I think everybody likes Jay's stuff, and we know Jay doesn't deliver as often as he should, and he's had his problems in the past. There's some artists that just seem to have that, but man, when he does a good piece, he does a good piece.
They're artists first, and their business people second.
Mm-hmm.
And their shippers a distant 15th.
Yes, very true. I mean, I got some of I won't say who, but one of the people who shipped me their mystery sketches that I ended up shipping. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you shipped it in this thing, because I mean, I don't know how it got here. It had a note, a stamp on it that said fragile or handle with care or something like that. But I'm like, this is like thick paper, the envelope that it's in. I'm like, that's too risky, I mean,
yeah,
but hey, but anyways, back to this piece. I like Jay's stuff a lot. And I've seen him in a couple of shows in the last year too, right? I know he was at MegaCon last year, and I forget where else I saw him. I like his inking style a great deal.
I do too. It's starting to feel almost like as expressive as like Paul Pope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's more dialed in than that, and obviously we're looking at Batman, and so that tricks you a little bit too. But like it's got that level of energy now.
Yeah, no, it does. So anyway, great piece. And I remember whose was this? Killian C. I remember Killian posted something on Facebook saying, "I know you guys are going to give me grief for showing it, but I read that, and I actually read that before I saw the piece on CAF, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to pick it anyway." So congrats to Killian. We know that good pieces like this are hard to come by. Let's see, 3 more pieces here. So I got a James Jean piece.
Ooh.
This one I just love the detail in it. I just thought this was so fun. I don't know what it was from. Let's see what it was.
It's also not a bong.
Yes, I know. Well, I saw that too, and I was like, somebody's going to get a laugh out of that. I noticed the bong after I'd picked it, or whatever that is. Not a bong. It's
hookah.
It's a hookah. Yeah, there you go. But I just love this. This is like reminiscent of Yellow Submarine meets MC Escher, or I don't know what else.
Or like Peter Max, or who's the I'm gonna space on the artist's name. There's a classical painter who never mind, because I'm not gonna get there. But this reminds me of a classical era painting.
Okay. Well, everything's kind of drippy. You could say, well, I wouldn't even say Moreau, but yeah. But again, this is so nice. James Jean, obviously incredibly gifted. Composition on this thing is great. I mean, let me zoom back on it here so we can see it, because it's a horizontal piece at the end of the day. And so he's just done a really masterful job on this piece. I love it. And I don't even, no clue what the hell this thing is from. And what's this like? Is the flower talking? I mean, this guy is so stoned here. It's like a G and a D in there. I don't know what that is. I didn't even notice that before. But a piece arranged through Felix in 2017. Huh. Well, that's cool. It's entitled The Max Pipe. Okay. Well,
Goya. That's what I'm thinking of.
Goya. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, great piece. Ben H. Congrats. I love it. Good job on that one. Parrish. Yeah, you could say that a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure. Two more pieces here. This one, I picked this one because, for me, this has always been one of my, I like John Byrne. I like John Byrne when on his little run with the Hulk.
Short Hulk run. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is the way Hulk should be giant, brooding, and like this. And so I always thought this was one of his, he did a lot of memorable images in the Hulk, but I always liked this one.
That's a strong image. Yeah, no pun intended.
Exactly. So yeah, this is I picked it just for that. I like the way Byrne drew him as he looks like a monster, and it's a big forehead. But anyways, good one there. I don't know if the smoke rings were properly placed, but other than that, there's nothing wrong with this piece.
It's got that Frankenstein by the water side feel to it too.
It does.
Or if the Hulk sneezed, that Native American guy is a dead man, but
exactly. Yep, that is so true. So Brad's comic art. I have I like that title for your gallery, Brad. You did well. Yeah, I won't read the whole description in there, but so this was in Marvel Fanfare, not in Hulk. Big thighs, yes, indeed. So last pick here. This is in Derek Krabs calf gallery. Brayfogle.
Ooh,
I like Brayfogle a lot.
Oh, I love him.
And again, this the layout on this thing is good. I really love this first panel. The way he's just done the motion here. I'm standing and obviously grief stricken, and then bam.
Falling,
this is it's just
there's the expression on the face and on the fallen face too.
Yeah,
good.
I like this. So this is from Detective Comics. But yeah, I love this last panel. It's just something really unique about it. I love the light rays off of the flashlight here in this panel. This is just really, really nice piece. I love it.
Derek's premium, right? Does this get bigger?
It does. Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, see, this is a great page.
Is that? Oh, that's Looker. Cool.
Not familiar. You're welcome, Derek. You always get like I don't know what your avenue is as a collector, but you always find these great interior pages, and I'm sure they have a lot of significance story-wise for you because you're such a great comic historian. But you got a good eye. You get really nice interior pages. This is just, I love it. Because it's things are moving in all different directions, and it's all related to light or glowing, and it's just awesome.
And if you're going to get a Batman page or a detective page that doesn't have Batman on it by Norm Brayfogle, they don't come much better than this one.
There you go. High praise from Mr. Snork on this one. So congrats, Derek. You did well.
Good pickup, Professor.
Hey, we're just over the 3-hour mark. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, I like that.
Back strong.
Cool, man. Well, so next week we have a surprise for everybody. Chris and I are not going to tell you what that surprise is, but it's going to be
unless you're on Discord, then you can figure it out.
All right, but yeah, it's going to be a good time. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of fresh art posted. It'll give us a lot to look at, but I'm looking forward to doing it. So we've got I've got tomorrow night off, and then I've got the show with Chaykin on Saturday at 2. And then I don't think I'm back at it until Tuesday with the OAX show. So plenty of time off. But
a light weekend.
Yeah. And that's well, you know what? Sunday's going to be hell because I'll be packing the artwork. I think there's about 45 pieces here. So I've got I know I'm going to need it. It's going to be, but Emma's here, so I'm going to make her help with some of the packaging. I bag it and print all the labels. She kind of works on the outside tape and stuff. So we'll get it done. Yeah. Oh shoot, Jason's right. Of course, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I'm doing the unboxing. So I thought I had tomorrow off. It'll be like a night off. Unboxing is an easy.
Yeah,
easy
that's
job.
and fun.
Yes. Sorry, everybody. Everybody got nervous that I wasn't going to unbox tomorrow night. I am 9 o'clock unboxing. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe because, like I said, one of Jiggy's artists is actually in Canada. I got like this FedEx email sent to me on Monday or Tuesday, and I'm like, who in the hell's sending me something from Canada? And so Jiggy texted me. He's like, one of my artists decided to mail the stuff directly to you. I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe there'll be more to open than just that. But Chris, thank you as always.
Thank you, Bill. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. And just so I'm keeping that beer here, but you have that 4-pack when you get here.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
you've got a bunch of beer coming your way, and in fact, I think it should show up in time for you to crack a couple during the special segment next week.
Okay, I will do that.
All right.
I'll let you know if I like it. But anyways, man, thank you as always, and everybody, thank you for tuning in. We had a lot of fun tonight, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow at 9 with the unboxing from the next.